as well. You had tweeted that out about the actual Mississippi prison as well, too. Shout out to my people over in YouTube land. We're live, guys. We're going to be discussing the KattWilliams interview. We're also going to be talking about the situation, the Mississippi jail scandal, as well as we're going to also be addressing this situation with Lil Nas X recreating this crucifixion video where he was supposed to be Jesus or whatever. So yeah, quite a bit. This is the first podcast / X Twitter space of the year. Definitely back in the house. Good to be back. Hope everybody enjoyed the new year. I hope you guys enjoyed your new year. We'll probably do a couple podcast / YouTube spaces or whatever, Twitter spaces this week. So got FBA Goddess. She's going to be holding it down tonight as one of the co-hosts. So I definitely want to hear what this sister's got to say, because like I say, she definitely went ahead and put that information out the other day and about the actual Mississippi, the situation down in Mississippi with the actual bodies and stuff buried behind the jail. It seems like Mississippi never stops when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's like constant madness, constant craziness. So again, we're glad to be back. Definitely, I'm going to touch up on a couple things. FBA Goddess, I'm going to touch up on a couple things, and then you want to go ahead and you can hit it up. That's more than well. I want to go ahead and start right away, and I want to go ahead and I'm going to touch up on all of them actually, and then we can go ahead and start diving into the actual conversation. Up in the Jumbotron, we have the actual article from Black Enterprise about the situation in Mississippi. 215 bodies found behind Mississippi jail. Families are outraged. Some 215 bodies found in the Pauper Cemetery behind a prison in Hinds County, Mississippi. The grave site is intended for people who have no known family, but relatives of the deceased say they were never contacted by officials. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the families of Mario Moore, Dexter Wade, and Jonathan Hankins, who were all buried in the cemetery without knowledge of their families. It's like they just threw them out like the trash, just like they did the others. Gretchen Hankins, the mother of Jonathan Hankins, told Fox affiliate WBLT. Activist Arthur Reed, who works with Crump, recently visited the grave site. The deceased are put in body bags and placed in shallow graves, Reed told Fox 26. The stench from the bodies are drawing buzzers, he said. Wade was hit and killed by a police vehicle. Although the victim had an identification, Wade's family was not notified of his death. The family thought he was missing until they recently learned that he was buried, identified by a number in the Pauper's prison just outside of Jackson. Reverend Hines, the senior pastor of the Christ Tabernacle Church, the national leader for a New Day Coalition of Equity in Black America, spoke to Chicago Crusader. It really saddens my heart to know that their relatives went that long, some over a year, not knowing if their loved ones were dead or alive, and then coming to the realization that they had been buried in a pauper's grave behind a jailhouse, he said. According to Hines, Jackson's new police chief, Joseph Wade, has implemented a new death notification policy that will provide relatives with a notification and details about their loved one's death. People all across America are scratching their heads in disbelief about what's happening in Jackson with the Pauper's graveyard, Crump said during a press conference. It went from talking about the water that was non-existent or contaminated to now we're talking about the graveyard. What is going on in Jackson, Mississippi? Shout out to all you guys coming up in the actual space and over there in YouTube, guys. Shout out to all y'all. We're discussing the situation with KattWilliams. We're discussing the situation down there in Mississippi, the jail scandal with all of these dead bodies were buried behind the prison, behind the jail. And we're also talking about this crazy video that Lil Nas X did reenacting the crucifixion of Christ. I'm going to actually go ahead and cover that as well, too. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and get that up. Let me go ahead and get that real quick. Can you still hear me, Goddess?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to go to actual. This is from Variety. And let me go ahead real quick. Almost 3 years, it says it's titled, and it's up in the Jumbotron. Lil Nas X recreates Jesus on the cross in a new single art dedicates song to Christ, the man who had the greatest comeback of all time. Almost 3 years after he rode a stripper pole into the depths of hell and onto the devil's lap, Lil Nas X is back to stir up more controversy or perhaps to see the light. The chart-topping pop star returns on January 12th with a new song titled J. Christ. He imitates Jesus Christ nailed to the cross on a single artwork, and then a press release says, "My new single is dedicated to the man who had the greatest comeback of all time." The song, which seemingly kicks off Nas' sophomore album, will be accompanied by a musical video. On November 29th, he teased with the song on X Twitter, writing, "Y'all mind if I enter my Christian era?" The clip saw him dancing on a deserted street and wearing a shirt. Because this page is actually jumping, so give me 1 second. "Y'all mind if I enter my Christian era?" The clip saw Nas dancing on the street and wearing a shirt that reads, "If God doesn't exist, then who's laughing at you?" The musical snippet featured lyrics including, "I call on angels, I'm trying hard to face my pain. Yeah, give me hope when I feel, give me hope when I feel less." It's unclear if that song is J. Christ or whether or not it will appear on the next album. While Lil Nas X has become, in certain religious spheres, the poster child of what's wrong with the secular left, he summoned the devil in a Nike lawsuit after promoting his limited edition Satan shoes. He indicated on X that his religious turn isn't just for publicity. "Y'all see everything I do as a gimmick, when in reality, I'm just an artist expressing myself in the different ways." The artist wrote on X, "Whether I'm a cowboy, gay, satanic, or now a Christian, y'all find a problem. Y'all don't police nobody else art like mine. Y'all hate me because I am fun, cute, and petite." All righty. If he says something, you say you all of that, my friend, and that's what you are. And let me touch up on this last one. Like I said, I'm gonna touch up on the KattWilliams situation. Now everybody knows about the Katt situation. That video with KattWilliams that he did with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, I believe, has over 30 some odd million views. I believe it's at about 32 million views. It could be more by now. Shannon Sharpe, I believe, in a day or two, amassed over 1 million new followers or subscribers on YouTube. So, shout out to Shannon for doing this thing, because of course, Shannon Sharpe is already a Hall of Fame and he's well known and stuff like that. But that actual interview, which went more than just viral. It really put a shaking on Hollywood, especially Black Hollywood. It's gone viral and it's got people talking. I know you guys last week were talking about it. We all were talking about it. If you hadn't seen it, you definitely need to see it. This article, real quick, from the New Pittsburgh Courier, just briefly touches up on it. Of course, like I say, pretty much everybody's seen the video, but I'm going to just touch up on it real quick. Actor comedian KattWilliams blasted several of his peers during a podcast episode that's gone viral. During Wednesday's January 3rd episode of Club Shay 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 podcast, Williams was critical of Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, and Ricky Smiley, a group he described as a gang of lowbrow comedians per USA Today. "For 30 years, they're a group. These aren't three random guys," Williams told the podcast host Shannon Sharpe. "All of these dudes intertwine and they share secrets. This is the age of truth." During the podcast, Williams claimed Cedric the Entertainer stole a joke from a comedy set he performed on BET's Comic View in the 1990s. Comic View was it back in the day. "This is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke. It's my last joke. It's my closing joke," Williams said. "In 1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that. He's using that joke as his last one on the original Kings of Comedy. He's doing it verbatim." Williams said he could no longer give Cedric a pass for using his joke after he denied taking his material. "He thought I was just a no-name comedian, that he could take the joke and nobody would know," Williams said. Williams also addressed a comment previously made to Sharpe by Smiley, whom he co-starred with in the 2002 film Friday After Next. Smiley, who portrayed Santa Claus in the film, had told Sharpe that he originally had the role of Money Mike, which was played by Williams. "This man told you he had KattWilliams' role. He was going to be Money Mike, and KattWilliams was going to be Santa Claus," Williams said on Wednesday's podcast episode. "We auditioned in Los Angeles. I was audition number 201. 200 Black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning, and you had already had the role and already shot the role in 4 days." Williams further alleged that Harvey copied the premise of the 1996 show, The Steve Harvey Show, from fellow comedian Mark Curry. Curry played a teacher in the 1992 Hanging with Mr. Cooper. That was a good show that used to come on ABC. While Harvey played a high school music teacher on his show. The same Steve that Went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom, then stole everything Mark Curry had, Williams said. Now Steve got a sitcom where he's a principal and he wears a suit. Williams also took aim at Harvey's acting skills. You couldn't be a movie star, Williams said. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asked for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You have to have range, said the entertainer responded to Williams' claims against him, calling his comments revisionist history, regardless of whether Katt's opinion, my career can't be reduced to one joke. Katt Williams claims is his. Cedric wrote Wednesday on social media, I've been in over 40 movies. My specials and brands speak volumes for me, the people I've put on, including Cat in the Hat at the Gibson Amphitheater. So, yeah. And on that note, I see, like I said, we got us a co-host tonight as well, too. I got my girl Goddess. She's up in here. FBA Goddess, she's up in here. She's going to be co-hosting with us. And Goddess, I know you want to speak also, and I just want to go ahead and touch up on everything. Shout out to all you guys coming up in the space. I see Black Pressure. I see Alyssa. I see Goddess Michelle. So 504, all you guys 400. What's up, Tony? What's up, Black Pressure? Guys, definitely go ahead and tweet out the actual link to the actual room tonight. Please go ahead and tweet it out. I'm gonna let Goddess. We can touch up on any topic you want to, Goddess. I just wanted to go ahead and get that out there. Anybody that wants to also speak, you guys know, come on up here. Request a microphone, raise your hand. We'll get you up here. Had to touch up on the Katt Williams thing because, like I say, I haven't done an actual space since before the new year. So this is the first Twitter space, X space podcast, whatever you want to call it. This is the first one for the new year. So shout out to everybody on Twitter or X. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. I hope you guys are having a great new year. I wanted to go ahead and touch up on that. So I had to touch up on the Katt Williams thing. I had to touch up on this Lil Nas X thing. This thing, I saw this today online. This joker was like nailed to the cross. One minute he's the devil, now he's Jesus. So I had to touch up on that. And of course, we had to touch up on the Mississippi jail scandal thing. I know you guys have been seeing that. We don't know what the hell's going on in Jackson, Mississippi. Ben Crump, love him or not, he's telling the truth. The people can't drink the water. It's contaminated. You can't get clean water. And now you got to worry about your loved ones being buried alive without the actual people contacting you to let you know exactly what's what. So FBA Goddess, how you doing tonight, sister?
I'm good. Yeah, that story just keep on getting worse and worse as it comes. You know, as far as it started out with the young guy who his mother was looking for him for 7 months, and they knew who he was. Like she was saying, they already have a lawsuit against them for her brother being killed. So they knew who he was. He also had an ID in his pocket, and they went ahead and just buried him anyway. And the worst thing about it is they're burying these people and not embalming them, and they're just putting them in body bags and then putting them in the ground. So therefore, buzzards, everything else is coming around, being able to dig in the ground, do all kind of stuff to these family members. It's just terrible. I mean, I just don't get it. But then again, it is Mississippi, I'm hoping that the people in Mississippi are waking up to seeing this stuff and that they are going to, start doing things and not praying. I mean, I understand praying is good, but you got to do more than just pray, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on in Jackson, Mississippi alone that is going to take more than just praying. You're going to have to get out and do something.
That's crazy too. The fact that, like you said, and I touched up on that on the article, like you're talking about the buzzers and stuff circling. Now you got to worry about, like you say, other animals. You got to worry about possums and everything else digging up your loved ones and actually, and not to get too gross out, but, actually feasting on the actual carcass and stuff like that. You could imagine if you got all of those bodies piled up out there as well too. That stench, you probably could smell that from a mile or two away. So, I mean, I don't know how anybody who may have an actual home nearby, that smell, they've got to be able to smell that. It's got to be driving them crazy as well, too. I'm with you on that. The prayer and everything, that's good. That's great. And I hope they are praying and stuff like that. But it comes a time in Jackson and Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi, one of the blackest cities in the actual United States of America. It comes a time where they're gonna have to start to mobilize and do something down there, because they're the majority, but at the same time, it's like they have no power. And from you have a black mayor, you have some black people in power, and I understand. We're talking about the state of Mississippi. We know that the actual state government is lily white, is ran by white folks for the most part. But to have something like this going on in 2024, 23, I'm sure a lot of this was going on, and who knows how many years. Do you know, Goddess, how many years this has actually been going on as well, too?
For it to be that many bodies, it would have had to been going on for a while. I have to check to see, but I'm not sure right now. But for it to have been that many bodies, it have had been a long time for that many to pile up. 215 bodies, and not only that, they don't even know who is who. They put people in at the ground with numbers, but some of the people, they don't even know if they are who is who. They're just guessing at, hey, this might be, I'm just throwing out a name, Jim Bob. They don't know if that's him or not. They're just guessing.
I wouldn't be surprised too, knowing Mississippi, knowing the way that they've always desecrated black bodies. I wouldn't be surprised if these a-holes are not just throwing people in and just burying people on top of each other in some of these actual graves as well too. When you have these unmarked graves and things like that as well too, you have to worry about the people just going here stacking bodies on top of bodies in there as well. So this is they got Ben Crump on, Ben Crump. Of course, we can expect a lawsuit, but I don't know. It's getting national attention. It is. Like I said, I know you posted the other day. The article I read was from Black Enterprise. You have some major NBC, you have some major outlets actually talking about it. But see, that's the issue right there. A lot of times the actual major outlets will actually talk about this stuff, but then they'll go ahead and they'll stop talking about it. So it's up to us to kind of go ahead and keep this in the actual in the public's eye, because just like with the actual situation, the water crisis down there in Jackson, we talked about it and we talked about it, but still nothing's changed. How long does it take to fix? I know from what they said, the actual cost of actually fixing the water crisis in Jackson, I think, was something like $2 to $4 billion, which is peanuts. When you think about all the money that we're sending overseas to Ukraine and now Israel and all these other nations as well, $2 to $4 billion is actual peanuts. So the water crisis, when this became publicly known, should have been solved right here. This is another crisis right here as well, too. You got to wonder, like I say, and and Chuck D, FBA Chuck D on YouTube says it sounds like an organ harvesting type of thing, along with these people being killed by suspicious activity. At this point in time, FBA Chuck D, you may be on to something. You may be on. They're not notifying the family. They just go take. And this is something that happens. This is something that happens way too often. This is not just a Jackson, Mississippi thing.
Why they went and bomb them too? Because if you embalm them, you can't take their organs.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true too. Once you embalm them, you can't. You're right. You can't do that. Miss D, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic, guys. Definitely go ahead and retweet the space out as well too. How you doing, Miss D?
I'm doing okay. How everybody doing?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you. I think it's catching a lot of traction because it was also white boys down there too. That's what I think.
That's true too. Yeah, that's true, because it just wasn't black people down there as well too. If it was black people down there, you may still not have heard about this. These just be missing John Does, Jane Does, or whoever. But the fact of the matter, you're right, that you got some white folks that's actually been thrown up into the actual and these holes and buried and everything else as well too. That's you're right. You could be onto something as well about that as well too, Ms. D. At this point in time, I wouldn't put anything past any of them. Like at this point in time, to be honest.
Yeah, because I had caught wind of this story like the mid part of November, like right before Thanksgiving, and I was wondering why nobody wasn't talking about it. I had the video and everything, like A week before Thanksgiving, I had the video. This was before they discovered the bodies, the other bodies. I mean, before they really got into it. I got it like around by first week of November. And I was wondering why everybody wasn't talking about it. Then yesterday, I just started seeing everybody posting it. And I was like, I've been having this story for a while.
Well, I did post about the gentleman and the one that was the mother was looking for him. I did post that back in November, but then it came out as far as about the 215 other bodies 214 other bodies that were buried back there along with him.
Yeah, I had that. Yeah, I had that in November. Yeah, I have a video showing that, and I had it. And I went back to see the date on it that I had downloaded, and it said like November the 22nd. And I was just wondering why, the big, the news people on my timeline wasn't talking about that. But then when I started seeing everybody start talking about it yesterday, I said I'm glad everybody started catching on to it. I had told Third Coast about it. Because on his first cup, he talked about a lot of things. So I had told him that I had a story, but we never did get around to it. But I'm glad it's catching traction. But I think it's on the national level because there's some white people in it too. Yeah, it probably wouldn't even be this big. That's I say this is one of the most I've ever heard. This is just insane.
As far as like trying to get like the FBI and everything involved in it, they just now started where they turned around and with Brett Favre, how long it took for them to he should be getting in trouble for that money. It took them this long, so to have the FBI look in on this in Jackson, we gonna not hold our breath on that.
And the Brett Favre thing, and to get to your point, Ms. D, I didn't actually see this until FBA Goddess actually tweeted it out. So, even with having a site focus on news and stuff, we curate. So none of our curation partners had put it out there. If they did, I definitely missed it, but I didn't see it. It wasn't until she tweeted out a couple of days ago that I actually saw it. So I didn't know about it. Of course, I've been knowing that they, been doing shady stuff, but I didn't know it was to that point like that. So I didn't even know about it. So you're right. And had they not had white guys or white people involved in it, I don't think this story still would have broken and been in the mainstream as well too. So like I say, I didn't know about it until FBA Goddess actually tweeted it out. And like I say, I know I was going to be doing a space coming up in the new year. So when I saw, I did want to actually do a space on this as well too. FBA Goddess, to get back to your point about Brett Favre, DJ could tell you we did a space about, we've done over the past couple of years, we've done, I don't know, we've at least done about at least 4 or 5 spaces on Jackson, Mississippi and Mississippi alone. We did a space first about the actual water situation down there. We did a space also about the situation of Brett Favre and taking the welfare money and stuff like that. I think we did another space about Mississippi as well too. So this has got to be about the 3rd or the 4th space that we've done on the state of Mississippi, a couple on Jackson as well too. Let me say this real quick about the Brett Favre situation. They're not going to do anything to Brett Favre. Brett Favre is that one of their favorite sons in that state. Brett Favre got money. Brett Favre could have went ahead and paid the damn thing off and let the actual story go. But no, Brett Favre and state government officials helped Brett Favre get that money. They helped Brett Favre go ahead and get that money, get those funds and stuff like that as well too. So Brett Favre has been stubborn. He's basically told everybody to kiss his behind. And now, this story hasn't died down. He was talking about suing this person or suing that person. People told him, like, well, go ahead and sue us then. And he kind of stopped that talking as well too, because nobody's afraid of Brett Favre. Miss Lisa on YouTube is saying, she said, listen to MF Kush recording since 2008 is 672 to 675 grave bodies. Miss Lisa, like I say, this is something new. I'd have to actually listen to MF Kush recording as well too, because like I say, I just started hearing about this situation, people being buried behind the actual jail and all of this stuff right here. The past few days, this story's gained more and more traction. It's crazy. It's gained more and more traction. Shout out to FBA Goddess and a bunch of other people. They've been, steady drumming this story up as well too. And like I say, I'm seeing major media outlets covering it as well too. And like you said, Miss D, I believe the fact of the matter is not solely Black people that's the actual victim of this, is why this is actually gaining some traction as well too. What's going to be done, what can be done about this situation. You know, I want to exactly hear the explanation of how you just decided to go ahead and bury people without contacting their relatives. How you're burying people and not embalming them. This is just, I mean, and I can't even comprehend that you're not embalming people. You're just putting them up in the ground. And like you say, any kind of animal can come there and dig people up and do whatever to it. So, you know, it's just the face and this is wild here. This is really, really wild. Go ahead, Miss D, and I'm gonna get the MF Kush. I see her up in here as well too.
Yes, I had so many questions when I first seen this in the early part of November. I was wondering, where did the family think their loved ones was? Did they think they were still in jail, but nobody was going to see them? I had so many questions that I won't answer, that I haven't able to get an answer to. Like, I don't know how these people, are they all from Mississippi? Where did the loved ones think they was? I don't know.
They thought they were missing. A lot of them thought they were missing.
Yeah, they did. They thought they were missing. And the people never, you know, you assume that your people are missing, and you're hoping for the best. And the police don't let you know exactly what happened. They don't even notify the people and tell them, hey, you know what, your loved ones, we buried them. You know, so. MF Kush, matter of fact, she had a space, and I see that Miss Lisa hit me up in DM, said MF, and I see the space that you must have had the other day, MF Kush. And Miss Lisa said that you said something about 672 to 675 grave bodies. If you don't mind going ahead and sharing with us what you know about the situation, MF.
Yes. So sorry, y'all, peace, power, reparations. So listen, when I had the space, right, we were sitting in the space and we were having a conversation. Y'all can go in there and go look, right? So from 2008 to 2023, in total, there were 675 bodies. Now, were there some white bodies? Yes, but I'm not personally concerned about the white bodies. I'm more concerned about the Black Americans that were buried here on their land. That were unmarked graves, that were numbered graves, not buried with any kind of dignity or respect, bodies not even being embalmed. And if this is one situation where this has been covered up, how many of those bodies of those Black men or Black people that were buried on that land were also quote unquote accidents? The mayor went in to say that this was not done with malicious intent. It was just basically an accident. I can understand one accident, maybe two, not over 600. And to not let a parent know what has happened to their child after you've identified them is malicious to me. This woman had to go find her son, finally saw her son's grave at the end of November. There's a time frame of how this all started. So this originally, I guess, started in March of last year. And it wasn't up until November she saw his grave. After 173 days of searching and looking and all that, this woman didn't know whatever happened to her child. Found his grave. And it goes to show you that even in death, there's no respect for us. It goes to show you how deep this is, because he's not the first case. There's probably plenty of other cases out there we don't know about that have not been publicized. But I think that this was done with, I do believe this was malicious intent. I think this is the most disrespectful thing that you can do. And regardless if these police officers who ran him over were Black or not, that whole police department needs to be shut down. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm going to land there for now.
Thank you, MF. We appreciate that. Like I say, I did not know that, and you're saying that. I mean, by your numbers, you're saying it's close to 700 people, and this has been going on since 2008.
Yes, 2008 up until 2023, there were a total of 675 bodies found.
Mm-hmm. Now I wonder how many out of the 670 some odd people, bodies were found. How many of these people were actually reported as missing? I mean, that would be interesting to know as well too.
That's what I was asking. That's why I was asking it. And follow me back, Newstoter, because I had nobody to send this to when I first got it. Yeah, that's what I was asking about the missing.
I'm following you. Yeah, I'm already following you.
Okay.
This is, like I say, I saw FBA Goddess. She tagged me in the post. I saw it. I liked it and I retweeted it out as well too. So I didn't know about this until a couple days ago, to be honest. Cool Breeze, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, guys? News report, Todd and FBI Goddess and everybody to the room. MF Kush. Yeah, this is definitely. I seen some of the articles about it. It's definitely I should the federal government should get into things with it because this is one of the things that I do as far as with my private security company. I can do investigations as far as on missing persons and stuff, and assist with law enforcement on those things. And I can tell you, probably most of us already know on a missing when we report someone's missing, most of the time they wait about 48 hours to do anything because they, person can be a runaway or whatever the situation may be. And then in law enforcement, they will start sending search parties out or whatnot. And as far as like, this is one of the things for my company, this is why I started the company, is because, they, tend to not, I won't say not, but when it comes to our people, our cases somehow get pushed to the back for every reason. Just like MF Kush, that whole PD is definitely, in my opinion, is, huge cover up in that police department, because there's no way, they covering up, I say there's no way, but for them to cover up a total of 600 some bodies, that's screaming federal all over it. They should step in. I don't know where they are in the investigations or whatnot, but that's definitely an inside job, because when someone reports someone missing, obviously there's some type of law enforcement officer, detective that's going to get assigned to that case, and they should be updating the loved ones, whether they got some update or not. They should be contacting the loved ones to see what's going on, to see what leads they may have, et cetera, et cetera. So this is definitely pretty disheartening, especially if it's dealing with wouldn't be surprised. It's down in Mississippi. We know how Mississippi is. A lot of our folks down there. So this is very disheartening. And I'm gonna yell the mic.
Thank you, Cool Breeze. This, like you said, this has to be a cover up, and it has to have the actual participation of multiple people and agencies as well too. Now, what's up with the coroner and vital statistics and all these other people as well too for something like this to go on? It just can't be the actual police department. And you're right, you have to have the federal government get involved. And have some kind of some real investigation going on, because this is just not a one thing here. You had to have the coroner, vital statistics, a bunch of other people had to be collaborators in all of this going on here. MF Kush, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. I want to read you guys the timeline of this. So March 5th, 7:30 p.m., Dexter leaves his home. March 5th, 7:54. Struck and killed by Jackson PD. The evening of March 5th, his prescription bottle was found on his body. March 8th, Coroner office gets next of kin information. March 9th, criminal lab confirms Dexter's identity. March 14th, Dexter reported missing by his mother. July 14th, Dexter buried in state-ran cemetery. August 24th, police informed Dexter's mother of his death. In October, Dexter's mother visits his unmarked grave. Now here's the other kicker. While they were exhuming his body, the coroner showed up 3 hours before the mother did. When they did the autopsy, his leg was missing, and it was obvious forms of blunt force trauma that was done to this man. This is triggering for us as a community because again, this is more motivation for us to be able to take back what is ours. Police reform is a thing. These are crooked police cops in this department and everybody that was involved that covered this up, and it's deplorable. If you guys look up there in the Jumbotron, you guys will see all the posts. You see this brother right here in a gray suit, he's out there in the field, and he's telling you that the smell of it is just horrendous. You see in another video that this man's body being transferred while his mother is here. From one car to the other, from the hearse to the coroner's vehicle. We have to do better as a Black American community and figure out how to protect ourselves. Cool Breeze, he's right there. He's right there. And it's interesting, we had this conversation in the Black American business space, did we not, Cool Breeze?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Yep. You know, that this is huge part of why I started this, using my, long story short, using my skill sets, and my skill set turned into to start a private security company, executive protection company, because long story short, with a executive protection company, it's like basically your own private law enforcement agency. Executive protection company can do and get the licenses as a law enforcement agency, except it's in the private sector. So if any one of you guys was to get a contract, hire my company for your services, but guess what? Our services is to protect you. We do estate security on all different levels, very high levels. So we have to do certain things, intelligence, et cetera, et cetera. We can do our own, all that stuff on our own. But the people have to hire us, you know what I'm saying? So this is one of the part of the things why I started the security company. So with that, I'm gonna yield the mic.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to, and I just want to touch up on what you just said about the actual stench. Like, is there any people, like, how far away do you have a residential zone? Because you would think that actual people would be actually complaining and saying, you know what, the smell had to be almost unbearable. And if you, like I say, even if you were a mile away, I mean, you should be able to smell rotten, a rotten corpse just out there. And you're talking about Mississippi. You're talking about in the South where it's hot as hell at, where it's humid. I don't know how some of the people, the smell should have just been triggering for everybody.
Oh, it had to be. And Newstoter, guess what? They made this woman pay to get her son's body back because it was on state property. You killed my child. You say it's an accident, and you make me pay to get his body back. The audacity. I'm just going to land there for now. Third Coast also made a post about this too. So y'all may want to check out his post as well, but I'm going to land. Thank you.
And when we talk about, and like I said, FBA Chuck D on YouTube, he brought up a valuable point. And I know a lot of times when you guys have been at the doctors and one of the things they ask you, are you an organ donor? Are you an organ donor? Is this person an organ donor in your family? You got to kind of start wondering about some of this stuff now about when we start hearing about organ harvesting and everything else as well too. Let's be for real. We're in a country that probably, and we think about organ harvesting, and we think about Asia, and we think about South America, but we got Africa. We think about all these other places, just like we think about trafficking and everything in these other places as well too. But let's be for real. The biggest traffickers, no matter what it is, whether it's drugs, it's human, it's sex trafficking, takes place right here in this country as well too. So, for all of and you wonder, because we always have you always hear about a shortage of organs. We got a shortage. We need more people to donate. If you donate your organs, leave it behind for somebody else as well too. Some of this stuff is just not making sense right here. And like I said, this is not just a Mississippi problem as well too. This is a national issue right here as well. Go ahead, Cool Breeze.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I just also want to add as well, man, that that's just one of the things that I do. I help fight against human trafficking on educational and stuff like that, and there's a lot of things linked to it, from missing, human trafficking, and just as you stated before, going into organ harvesting. They're linked. First thing is missing person. It could be a number of things, but it tends to be those three things are linked together. So you're exactly right. Dealing with these organ harvesting and stuff, and there's a lot of shady stuff that's going on with that. From this situation. I'm doing things. There's some investigating some stuff in the medical industry, how they're doing that stuff. And man, it's a dirty world out there, because organ harvesting is a booming. Sorry, I got a phone call, but it's a booming business in the black market. So and if you guys know that our organs and melanin is definitely priority out there on the black market, because we know that when it comes to melanin and all that kind of stuff, it helps out with a lot of medical stuff and everything. So it wouldn't surprise me if this situation leads into an organ harvesting. And I'm gonna yell the mic.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Cool Breeze. Go ahead, MF. I see live up here. Anybody that wants to speak as well, too, guys, feel free to come on up here and speak. We're talking about a number of issues. Of course, right now I know you guys hear the conversation, and we're talking about the situation in Mississippi, where you have 215 bodies that were found behind the actual Mississippi jail. So we're talking about that situation. Of course, up in the title, I know you guys see the KattWilliams situation as well too. Lil Nas X, I guess he was role playing. He's supposed to be Jesus Christ, whatever. So feel free to come on up here and discuss whatever you guys would like to, relating to the actual topics of the actual room as well too. So go ahead, MF Kush, you got it.
Thank you. And when I played some of the news clips in the space that I had, and if you could only hear the pain in this woman's voice, it's a feeling that I don't think no Black American parent should ever experience. Like Newstoter said, this is a global situation that happens here, especially here in the United States. And we have to start taking more initiative to be protective of ourselves and of our families. Protecting my family at all costs is priceless. I will throw however much it is to protect my family, get whatever security system, whatever, bang, bang, pow, pow I needed to protect my family, because in situations like this, where you felt like playing judge, jury, and executioner, and you didn't even have the decency to let this woman know that her son was dead. if you see the coroner's report that I got up there, right? The initial report says that Dexter's body was not embalmed. His body was in advanced state of decomposition. He was his body presented multiple forces of trauma to the skull, ribs, and pelvis. His left leg was amputated. His body was completely ran over by a police vehicle. There was a wallet in the front pocket of his jeans containing his state identification card with his home address, his credit card, and his health insurance card. The real question is, and I pose to people, what would you do in this situation? What kind of retribution would you be looking for if this had happened to your immediate family or anybody that you cared about? It's a new year. We have to think better. We have to think smarter, and we have to do better. I don't want to see another Black American gone in this state. But I'm just going to land there. Y'all all have a good night.
MF, I want to ask you one quick question before you leave, because Miss Lisa, she said something about she said ask you about the two investigators. She had to ask MF Kush about the two investigators. That pissed me off about the first corrupt one or something. Do you know what she's talking about two investigators, a corrupt one or something? Or
no, I don't know. I gotta remember that. I don't really know. I just know that when they went to go get this man's body out the ground, there was people already there before his mom got there. And if that's not signs of cover up, I don't know what it's to.
They said they didn't want the cameras to be there and try to embarrass them or anything about what they did. So that's the reason why they wanted to do it early.
Well, you felt the need to take my child. You're gonna face every single public scrutiny that is there.
Hey, Tyler, the poster on YouTube, Miss Lisa, she's asking about Kush to give her more information about what the investigators were doing, because you did just bring that up, but go ahead.
Oh, the only thing I know that these investigators are doing outside of trying to cover this up, they did ask for the DOJ to get involved in this. The family, and I think Ben Crump is asking for the DOJ to get involved in it. I think that that's the only thing I know. But you know what? Even more interesting is that all these quote unquote Black organizations are not speaking up about it either. Why is that? Why is that? That's weird. Everybody else is talking about it. There were only a local newscast that was there to report on the story, and that was it.
you bring up a good point there. Like I say, I myself just heard about it a couple days ago. Like I say, FBA Goddess, I saw her retweet it out. So I just recently heard about it myself. So Black Enterprise, they posted it. And I know you had a couple other outlets, NBC and some of the, now you're starting to see the past day or two, you're starting to see these bigger outlets because, people are making a stink about it, that you're starting to see these bigger outlets actually talk about it and they have to address it as well too. But like you said, I didn't know about it, to be honest. I hadn't had it on the website, anything like that else. I would already tweeted it out and everything, but I haven't seen it. I didn't see it. The FBA Goddess actually put it out there, and that's when I saw it. And like I said, I liked it and I retweeted it. But outside of that, I did not know about this situation here. I have to be honest with you. So I mean, that's why it's good for everybody. Like I said, we're all everybody has access to the media now, and it's great. That's the one good thing about social media, because you can't see everything, you can't know every story. So enough of us have eyes out here that, when somebody doesn't see something, you can go ahead and put it out there. And, that's a good thing. It's bad that this story is so tragic and sad the way it is. And I'm with you. Like, who cares that they didn't want to be shown up because they didn't want the cameras out there to show how incompetent they were and how corrupt they were. But, oh, well, people have to, like you say, this woman, her child is dead. Her child is dead. And I'm not going to even say what they probably did to contribute to the death of the person. But then you got to go in your damn pocket. And not only that, do you have to go in your pocket to have the body retrieved from out of that. Then you have to go out of your pocket again and have the body buried someplace else. And you think the city or the state would say, you know what, we'll cover the cost of this. We'll take care of this. Since we're the ones that's responsible for this. No, you got to come out of your pocket and put yourself in further debt because of what they did, their lack of accountability, and just the cruelty behind it all as well too. So that the more you hear the story, the more everybody's talking about it, the more upset you get about it as well too. But I want to say thank you, MF Kush, though. Definitely thank you, and for definitely coming in and sharing this. Like I say, because when you guys, I saw Miss Lisa post on YouTube. She said that it was over 670 some odd since 2008, and I'm like, wow. So the fact of the matter that the actual, even what we're seeing in the media, and they're saying 215. You're talking about 2008. We're talking about going on 16 years ago, man. That's a lot of people there. That is a lot of people. And like I say, I wonder how many of these people are supposed to be missing and everything else as well. There's a chain of command, and there's a paper trail as well too, because you just can't have this. You just can't have the actual police department doing this or whatever too. There had to be other organizations and other government agencies a part of this as well too. Like I say, what does the coroner's office know? What does the actual vital statistics know as well too? There has to be more than meet the eye right here.
Yeah, because I'm not understanding how all these people died, and a lot of them, like I was reading, said that they were thinking that their loved ones were missing. And if the loved ones are missing, and a lot of them are going to report it, so they're police stations. So these people were missing them without knowing. And the Dexter is his mother. They got in an argument when he left the house, and he ended up getting killed an hour later. And an hour later, he was dead, and they knew this, and she been looking for him.
Yeah, just think how that woman has to feel too. Like the last time she spoke to her son, they had an argument or whatever, and that's one of the last memories that she actually has of her child. An argument they had, the child leaves, and then next thing you know, you hear some bull crap like this right here. That's a tough pill to swallow there. Let me go ahead and get to my girl, Aunt Lai. Aunt Lai, how you doing? Happy New Year to you.
Hey, before you go in there, everybody just report that tweet that's on the far left-hand side. Please report that tweet on the far left-hand side, and that's definitely for you right there, Sister FBA Goddess. Report that tweet. These people out here lying on our ancestor Emmett Till, yo. Let's go.
You got it, Aunt Lai.
Happy New Year, peace, black power, and reparations. This story bothers me so much, and it's one of my worst nightmares. What I just don't think people understand is the level of corruption all state courts are. And the fact that they're saying it's 215, they're being nice. I can guarantee you it's over 1,000. I can guarantee, in the level of knowledge that so many people have to have, because who buried these people? You had one person bury 215 bodies. The level of people who are in the know in this, and that's why the coroner was there earlier. That it's sad on so many levels. But Mississippi is one of those states where, we as black people already know where we stand when it comes to the state of Mississippi. But the horrors of the actual things that you don't just come up missing. A person just doesn't come up missing. For the state authority has to account in the Department of Corrections. Every 15 minutes, you got to account for every inmate. When I call the prison about my nephew, and they tell me that they don't know where he is, he's not in that prison. Every time I call, and I'm like, that's impossible. It's your job to know where everybody is every 15-minute count. I don't know if y'all saw, it's an episode of Criminal Minds, when the inmates was, with all correction officers who had the inmates fight, and then they were taking the inmates and then they were burning them and doing all kinds of those shows are based off of true events. And it's just like horrible that the fact that, number one, I don't really hear it on the national news as much. I hear more about the people saying, why is nobody talking about this? Even when I posted on my social media, I had people tell me that they not hearing. I'm like, wow, like it's because this is the norm. When we say with like the criminal justice reform, we don't need to reform the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system is designed to treat black people the way it's treating black people. We need a demolished criminal justice system. And when we have to be very careful with our words, because it's sad on so many levels. But the level of knowledge from the warden down to the who buried these graves, it couldn't have been one person. And the fact that the police officer killed this young man who had his ID in him, and the fact that this was all covered up. When I talk about RICO charges, a lot of times we look and we say reform. No, these police departments, these courts, they need to be charged with RICO charges, because they are committing, if you commit 2 or more of these crimes in a 10-year period, you are responsible and you can be charged with RICO. One of the crimes is public corruption, official misconduct, witness tampering, fraud, money laundering. Because hypothetically speaking, if they're saying that these people are missing, and you know a certain amount of money you get per inmate per day, I believe this case is definitely deeper than what it is, like what it is, because a lot of people go to prison. Once somebody in prison, your family members really don't check on you that much. And the inmates and the correction officers, they know. My mother was a correction officer. They know who family don't check on them and who they can do certain things with. Remember, my nephew was in prison for 6 months. They wouldn't let us go visit him. They would not let us in the prison to see him. In the 6 months he was in the prison, they refused to give him a clean change of clothes. When we're calling the prison and we saying, why are you not giving him a clean change of clothes? They're saying, oh, we gave him a clean change of clothes. He just refused to put them on. Like, no, it's bullshit. They lied. They make stuff up. The level of correction in these settings is great. And if there's more than one people, because everybody has to be aware. Now they have cameras inside the facility. So it's horrible. It's horrible on so many levels that they're doing these things. And think about all of the people who are in prison for crimes they didn't commit, who are innocent, who are just there because they don't have an attorney. The Just Mercy case is out of Mississippi. That's where Jamie Foxx played the guy who was on death row, and a lot of those other death row inmates were also
excellent movie.
Were in prison for crimes they didn't commit. They were just putting them in prison again because they didn't have an attorney, or we know the corruption of the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt and treats black people a certain way since its inception. And this is just a prime example about all those laws where it says there's no law written that a white man has to respect of a black man, and that how black people are seen. We're seeing it in real time, and it gets confusing because once you understand white supremacy, everything else will make sense. This is sad on so many levels. It breaks my heart, especially everything I'm going through, and it's the reason why I fight. But I really feel like, honestly, I hate to even say this, but I know it's much worse than what we think it is. Because when they're telling us it's 215, I honestly believe it's maybe 10 times that. I honestly believe. Again, they don't value black lives at all. So the fact that they're saying that this is the number, I think that's, let's just give them a number to be quiet. And why wouldn't the Department of Justice want to investigate? Why wouldn't the president who supposedly want us to vote for him say something about this? And then they're going to keep ignoring it. It's just sad. It's just heartbreaking and sad on so many levels. In regards to KattWilliams, I want to give him a shout out. I just got to change the subject because it's too much. In regards to the KattWilliams interview, I find it very, very hilarious on a lot of different levels. the first thing I want to say is it hurts that people don't have common sense to know when he's joking about stuff and when he's serious. That's hilarious to me as a comedian. You can tell, like, some of the stuff he's saying, he's just mad or he's joking, and then some of the stuff is hilarious. That interview was 80% true, 20%. You cannot have a contract that put another person in a dress. That's not even legal. You can't even do it. But the fact that he was saying certain things, people got mad, and people actually think he got in his contract that another man wore a dress, because it's funny to me. I feel like he had a lot of things to get off his chest. I'm glad he got it off his chest. And I feel like I hate that people are taking it the wrong way with a lot of things. Everything is so literal. When you look at Mike Epps was on stage and he was just saying he had on a fake Finny. It was a joke. He a comedian. It was a joke. He was saying a joke. And everybody started. Now that's an article. Mike Epps going at it. He wasn't going at him. He wasn't attacking him. He was a comedian saying a joke on stage. And, you know, to make light of the situation. And it's just, you see how slow people are. And my kids say I can't say the retarded word, but it's just really like a lot of people don't have common sense nowadays. But I like the fact that he got off his chest what he got off his chest. But 80% of it was correct. And 20% of it, you can't make a contract and make somebody else wear a dress in your contract. That is not, you know, or when he, like, a lot of his stuff is joke. He's a comedian. He talking ish. But the fact that everybody was believing everything he said, that's hilarious to me. But I'm going to land my plane. I ask everybody to pray for the people in Mississippi. Make sure that we continue to do our voices to get loud about it, because it'll just be, you know, tomorrow, Lord knows what else is in the headlines, and, like, to bring attention to what's going on there, and understand, like, it's going to get a lot worse before it get better in regards to the situation. And it's really, really heartbreaking. And it's, again, when you say the jail scandal, understand that the judiciary is the branch of government that incarcerates people. So it's a judicial issue. A lot of times we break down the criminal justice system. We say the police, or we say the prisons. All of the entire system is founded on the judicial branch of government. And that branch of government literally targets black people since its inception. It's doing that now with the going after affirmative action and going after the black affirm. That entire branch of government has focused on us, and we have to be clear about that. And when we are intentional in our wording about what's going on and what's happening to us, because they've been doing it consistently. They have not changed in how they felt about us since 1619. But when we don't call a spade, they get away with it. It gives them cover. So just take that into mind. I know I'm all over the place because I'm emotional, but I'm going to dock my boat and fold my chair. Happy New Year, everybody. My birthday on Sunday. So on Sunday, have a piece of cake on me. Bye.
All right. Well, happy early birthday. Shout out to you, Aunt La. Good to hear from you. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up, News?
What's up?
What's up, Black family? Everybody in the space.
What up, family?
What up, DJ? So, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna be long. So I'm in the gym, so I'm ducked off right now. But I'm gonna say this about.
Wait, Tyler, let's go.
Yeah, you do it enough, it works. I'm gonna talk about Jackson. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm telling everybody in the Black family, if you could hear it. I stole this from my grandmother. If I die tomorrow, I want you to hear me say this. Everybody needs to carry a firearm on them 24/7, 365. So let me run down a couple of points real quick. So, News, am I right or wrong? Over 200 bodies?
That's what the article say, 215, but MF Kush was saying that, she was saying from 2008 that you had anywhere from 672 to 675. So, but the article saying 215. Yeah,
I can believe the high end. I have no problem with believing that high end. But think about it. Everybody in the space is Black people. How much money are we willing to bet that if you could take 600 Black people, so let's say kidnap 600 Black people without incident? You know better than that. You know that did not happen. And I can't prove this, but 44 years of experience in being black, I guarantee you, all those people were taken in their comfort zone by people who they thought were law enforcement. I guarantee you did not meet these people in a dark alley and challenge them to a fist fight, beat them and tie them up and take them. These people were taken in their comfort zone. I promise you. These people were taken by people posing as law enforcement. And I know this is going to upset a lot of people. But, News, I've said this plenty of times in your spaces. Being that it's in the southern United States, what we call the Bible Belt, I guarantee you, all those 600 plus people, I'm willing to put money on the table. They all believed in some type of God. And you see, that could not help them. All your belief in whatever deity, those people, it didn't help them. So I'm begging everybody, carry a firearm on you at all times. I would rather them white folks railroad you in court than bury you 6 feet deep. You know what I'm saying? At least your family can come see you and talk to you. So, like I said, that's all I have to say, and I'll mute up and listen.
All right, appreciate that pressure. Hey, I mean, keep the thing on you as well too. I don't exactly know how this happened here. You know, how you got all of these people and how this situation. You're right. It had I'm just convinced it had to be I don't know. It had to be a number of people doing this as well too. It wasn't just the police force by themselves. They had to have other. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't have common citizens and stuff up here assisting and taking some of these people out as well too. So I don't know. It's just a crazy situation.
Hey, real quick, like I was saying, I just want to reiterate and just coming behind what you said. What are the chances you can kidnap that many black people without incident? You know it's something deeper than that. You're just not gonna take it. I know myself. If I'm in a situation where I'm not armed and someone comes up to me and they produce a firearm, you're gonna have to kill them. That's what it is. You're not taking me without incident. That's not he's not going, oh yeah, come with me. Nah, I'm gonna make you pull that son of a bitch. I'm you gonna pull the trigger on me. I'm telling you. Now mute up.
Appreciate that pressure. Let me go ahead and get back to MF Kush. MF, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. What was also interesting about this is when you think about the cover up, why don't we know the police officers' names or faces that did this? Why don't we know the coroner's name or anybody who really was involved in all this? Why is that not being made public? The mayor spoke out about it, and I don't think it don't really sound like he was too concerned. It looked like, even just off their body language in the media, that they were choosing the words carefully. They were trying to watch how their body language was, especially in this situation. So it does show you that this don't smell right here in the Black American community. No.
Is this the Mayor Lumumba, right? Yeah. Does this Joker have any power? Does he have any power there?
I don't know. That's a good question.
No.
That's a good question.
It seems like he's helpless, like he can't do anything. I know he's a mayor. I know he's not the emperor of the United States or anything. I know we're in Mississippi. I know it's redneck ran, but he, like, for a majority black city, he seems like he has, like, I mean, maybe, I don't know how handcuffed he is or whatever. He seems like he has no power.
States run prison. A mayor doesn't have power over the prison, and a lot of times in those southern states, their whole justice system is corrupt, where these mayors really don't have power at all. Like, they don't have no power, no control. A lot of it is state run, especially in those southern states. And whatever the state is, that's the who runs it. They're the HNIC. And when you're dealing with a prison, you have the prisons have their own entire ecosystem. They have their own SWAT. They have their own internal affairs. They have their own investigation where it's separate from the state. So you're dealing with an entire branch of corruption in of itself. And when you're dealing, you also have the sheriff. The sheriff is also in charge of the county. So a mayor of a town has no authority over anybody but the police. But a lot of these smaller, especially in the South, they know why the police force is literally the Klan. So a mayor is not. They quote unquote say they have power to the police chief.
Why? But let me ask you this. Okay, we're in Jackson. Jackson is a predominantly black city. Why wouldn't most of the police force be black?
Because you're dealing with a white supremacist system. You have police departments. I was just watching a video where they was talking about how the black people, when a black person first got in law enforcement, they were told that you can't arrest white people, you can't have a gun. It's Mississippi. So if you're in the North, you have a different mindset than the people down there. So the people in the South, especially the black people, they don't want to be part of law enforcement because they understand that the law enforcement is the Klan. So even with a majority black city, they know who their enemy are. They know the enemy is the police because you're dealing with a lot of corruption. Even if you look at Missouri, what happened with Mike Brown when he was murdered, an investigation was done. The lawsuit just came down because people were getting pulled over. They would pull you over, and within 2 weeks, if you couldn't pay that ticket, you had a warrant out for your arrest.
But Aunt Lai, not to cut you off, that's part of the problem too. We talk about policing our own neighborhoods and everything else like that as well too. But you know, when you have the actual numbers to actually do it, you got to go ahead and do it. We know we know the history behind Mississippi. We know how racist Mississippi is, but in Jackson, they have the actual numbers. The mayor should be black. The actual the fire chief should be black. Everything in that city, because they have the numbers, should be all black. They should have total control of that city.
Key component of the criminal justice law enforcement, the judicial branch of government, is corruption. Whether you black or not, if you're a black person in law enforcement, your main role is to support white supremacy. So you saying, and a lot of black people don't, and a lot of black people don't want to treat their people like slaves. So they don't want to be in law enforcement because you're black. If you're black in law enforcement and you don't support white supremacy, what happened to me will happen to you. You will be fired from your job. You will be targeted. How many black people who worked in law enforcement who filed lawsuits for discrimination, that's the thing about law enforcement. We have this ideal that has been told to us as black people, to join law enforcement, be with us. That's bullcrap. If you're black in law enforcement, you are supposed to support white supremacy. You're supposed to treat black people a certain type of way, and black people don't want to do that. That's why black people don't join. As a black person who has a criminal justice degree, who worked in law enforcement for 9 years, who saw my mother as a correction officer, and she was fighting white supremacy. She filed a lawsuit for discrimination when she was there. Black people don't want to support white supremacy. So asking a black person to get in law enforcement to help your people, they looking at you like you're crazy because you're not there to help people. Your only role in is being a police officer, being a judge, being a sheriff, is to make sure you lock black people up, because that's why the census disparities. You have a judge who was written up because she wanted to treat people like and that's what you have to understand about law enforcement. It's not to help. It's not for us to put. Black people don't want to do that. Black people don't want to sell their people out. And a black person in law enforcement, and this is why I got my criminal justice degree. I didn't want to sell my people out. When I got there, I was like, hold up. This is not. As soon as I got there, I started reporting the discrimination, harassment. They came after me with their BS. Because as a black person, I didn't want to do that to my people. So that's the thing about us getting them. That's why we shouldn't have law enforcement at all. Because the only thing, that's why the sentencing disparities. You'll see two black people, the same age, same background, same whatever. The black person to get 40 years. The white person, he raped somebody, let's give him 6 months. Poor baby. Let's take him to Burger King. Because the system is meant to go after us. So even in the majority black state, those black people know it's BS. It's literally the entire judicial branch of government, and it doesn't need to be reformed or changed or quote unquote, because what happened after 1865, we have been compromising with Confederates, and that's why we're in the situation we're in. We got a Confederate in office, and we got a Confederate running for office, and they're telling us which Confederate is best for us. It's the same thing. Instead of holding them Confederates accountable for the sedition that they did in 1865 and fighting the country in the Civil War. They just gave them statues in the South. They gave them statues, named schools after them, named bridges after. Now we taking their history down because the Confederate flag. No, but these same people who have their same ideas are in law enforcement. And they want to treat us the same way they did prior to 1865. That's why they can bury us in the field and kill us on videotape and get 22 years. And I can name 5 black people who were in prison for crimes they didn't even commit and got over 150 years. 20 years in prison. The guy that was released from Detroit in Minnesota for 20 years for a crime he didn't commit. Why is it black people are in prison for decades for crimes that they didn't commit, when white people who have committed cold-blooded murder are out on a tour with his book with the president talking about he's not a murderer? Because the entire system is not for us. And the quicker we as black people understand that our enemies, like when that judge got mollywopped, baby, that warmed my heart. That he did that super suit soldier boy. When he jumped on that judge, I think my heart, Nat Turner was happy smiling.
And that role.
Hear me? Because that is the system and how the system does us. It's the entire system. It's not half of the system. It's not part of the system. It's not, no, there's some good cops. No, they're not. All cops are designed to treat you one way. Whether it's a police officer, whether it's a sheriff, whether it's a probation officer, whether it's a parole officer, they all have one thing in mind. And I guarantee you, if I'm lying, go to that person and see how they feel. Because as a person who was a probation officer for 9 years, and I see how people were treated, I couldn't go to sleep at night. How can you, wait a minute, y'all don't see this corruption? My mother filed lawsuits in the state of New Jersey, the Department of Corrections, where she got a dissent decree from the federal government in the 90s. Because how we see how black people are treated. It was sheriff officers who contacted my attorney in 2022 because they wanted to file a lawsuit with how the inmates were treated. Black people, we see how we're treated. So it's not just, it's the entire system. And once we get it in our heads, the judges, the sheriff, the police, probation, parole, Department of Corrections, and everybody in the system, the judicial branch of government, wants black people to be slaves, want to take our rights, and they're doing it via the courts right now, in the Superior Court. That's what my book is on. How the courts is really going after us. Even with affirmative action was only supposed to be put in place to help people with a disadvantage, and that system has perverted against us. Now you have women who have a fund, and the courts are literally going after her. This entire branch of government, it's the biggest money laundering scheme. And once we realize and see how, and when we justify for them, oh, it's some good cops. No, it's not. As a person who was in law enforcement, who had to sentence people to jail and do the stuff, I'm glad I got fired. I got fired because I don't support white supremacy. As a person, I couldn't sleep at night and do what I was doing to my people. And that's why I wrote the book, to make sure whatever happened to me, and they want to shut me up, is being told. And that's why I tell people what happened with the corruption is not just the police. It's the court that covers, the prosecutor who don't charge the police officer. And like somebody said, they said it perfectly. Where are the police officers who killed this man? You telling me y'all ain't got no the media? Remember, the news public media, y'all ain't put this man picture out. He done killed this black man, rolled him over. As far as I'm concerned, when they was on the boat in Alabama, we all should be getting chairs. Like somebody said, Black Pressure said you should get some guns and have some chairs in the back of our car. Because this entire system goes after us. Again, it's not just the police, it's the entire system. And I'm going to dock my boat and fold my chair.
All right. Thank you. Trouble, I know you were up here as well, too. If you get a chance, definitely go ahead and definitely come back up here. I don't know if you just had to drop down or whatever. I was going to have you up next, but if you get a chance, Trouble, definitely come on up here. Let me go ahead.
I want to say something real quick. quick.
Go ahead.
Mississippi does have a law where they wanted to keep black people from being able to vote. So they still have the law in the books. They tried to change it where they had specific laws or crimes that what they thought that only black people would commit, so that they would be not able to vote. Because in Mississippi, if you or certain crimes, if you commit them, you can't vote. So that's another thing that they have passed and still on the books today.
All right. Yo, guys, also later this month, in a couple weeks, I definitely went ahead and got the actual membership thing set up for the actual site. So I need to see if we can go ahead and get some people that's going to be members of Newstoter. I got it. The tier's actually pretty cheap, starting off anywhere from $1.50 all the way up to $10. If you got $1.50, $2.50, $3, $4, $5, we going like that. So we're trying to make it as cheap and affordable as monthly. If you got a PayPal, it'll be a reoccurring PayPal payment. Like I say, for as low as $1.50 a month, you can go ahead and support the actual platform. So it'll definitely be, I'll definitely be bringing it up in the spaces and stuff, because I want to go ahead and see if we can go ahead and get some people to become actual members on the actual site. I mean, you can just visit the site. If you want to leave comments, anything like that, like, post or whatever, that'll be fine. But we're just trying to get some people that will actually support the platform, be kind of like sponsors to it. So we'll definitely, in another week or two, we'll definitely go ahead and start putting that out there as well too. It's actually right now, I got it right now already set up, but there's a few more things I got to tweak on that. So we'll definitely need you guys' support. Like I say, for those that can support, you can support a black-owned platform for as little as $1.50 a month. And I know we try to make it as cheap as possible, because we know how things are in this economic situation in this country. So we're definitely trying to go ahead. You can support us. You'll be supporting other black-owned businesses as well too. And like I said, you can visit the site whenever you want to. If you want to leave a comment, if you want to go ahead and rate a post that you might like or whatever, give it a thumbs up, thumb down, whatever. But we definitely need your support. And like I say, for as little as $1.50 a month, we will definitely go ahead, and within a couple of weeks, we'll be putting that and making it available for anybody. If you got a PayPal account, that's that'll be the payment processor that way, reoccurring, $1.50 a month. You can do $1.50. You can do $2.50 if you want, $3.50, $4.50, $5.50 if you want to pay $10 or whatever. But we're trying to make it as cheap and as affordable as you can or whatever. I don't know many memberships that go under $2 a month, and we're definitely trying to do that. So we definitely need our people. I'm hoping that we're in January. I'm hoping we can get a few hundred people this year to go ahead and sign up as well too, and then we can actually start doing some community related type things on the actual site as well too, creating forums and stuff like that as well. So I'm just trying to go ahead and get that situated. So I'm letting everybody know that you can support. It'll be greatly appreciated. Unlike some of the stuff what you got on YouTube, that you have to reach a certain threshold, and even here on Twitter, if you have a membership, you have to reach a certain threshold before you can actually see the money. Even if you're making $10 a month, you can at least get the $10 in your pocket, which is better than having to get the $50 or $100 before you can actually see something. Like I said, we definitely need the support, and I'll definitely be reaching out to you guys to try to go ahead and get you guys to definitely go ahead and sign up with that as well too. I know a number of you guys will probably definitely go ahead. I'm sure Pressure, and I'm sure Brother Moku, I'm sure Aunt Lai, you guys will definitely go ahead and sign up and support as well too. So we'll definitely be reaching out, because we definitely need that, and we definitely want to have our own community, our own network, so we can go ahead and stories like this right here, we can go ahead and get that out to the mass public. That's a great thing about social media. We can go ahead and, hey, something like this, you get to the point where you get 4,000-5,000 people to start tweeting things out as well too. That that reaches the algorithm and people see what's going on. So we'll definitely like I said, within a couple of weeks, we'll definitely try to go ahead and get that out for more people to support as well too. So just want to put that out there. For those that want to support tonight, you can on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Also, if you don't have Cash App, we do have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. Same for my people that's over there on YouTube. Go ahead and make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the actual platform over there on YouTube as well, guys. $ Newstoter on Cash App. You guys see that $ Newstoter. If you don't have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the description. So this is the first podcast / Twitter space of the year. We're back. Last one we had was with Judge Joe Brown, which was a pretty good broadcast. So this is the first one of the year, and I'm glad to be back. Glad to see you guys. I hope you guys are having a good new year. We want to start off on the right beat as well too. And unfortunately, we had to talk about this story tonight, guys, but hey, it is what it is, and we want to go ahead and try to help get it out there as much as possible. The mainstream media is starting to cover it because people like FBA Goddess and the rest of you guys have been putting this out here, tweeting it, and it's gaining attention and stuff like that. So now NBC and CBS and all the rest of them, they can't ignore it. They have to see it. That's why I say it's something to have your own network, your own community where you can go ahead. And we have strength in numbers, so we need to go ahead and try to increase that as much as possible. I see my girl Trouble. She was able to get back up here. She had a couple of times I saw she disconnected. What's up, Trouble? And also, guys, like I say, for those that can support, $ Newstoter. But let me go ahead and kick it to my girl Trouble. Trouble, what's going on? Happy New Year to you.
Hey, Newstoter. Happy New Year's.
What's up?
Hey, shout out FBA Goddess and MF Kush up in the cut, DJ. Brother Muko, Black Lola, both blacks up in the house. I am original. Stephanie up in here, Major 400. Shout out to everybody because I've been calling names all night long. So everybody has said some pretty legit stuff. I don't really have a whole lot to add. When I first came up, I couldn't hear. I had to come out a couple of times, and then of course y'all know I'm generally in traffic with me on the space, so I just made it to the crib. I was about to say what MF Kush had asked, because that's a very important question as far as why don't we know the names of these mugs? How come we don't know the names of the police officers, the coroner, anybody involved? Why does the mayor look like, he's in shackles, mentally shackled, physically shackled, like he can only say but so much? And to a certain degree, it makes me wonder if the whole court situation with them trying to take over the courts in Jackson, with everything they're doing on a judicial level, is all tied together. Because now it sort of makes sense why they've been pushing to really take over their police departments and their courthouses and everything else. We've got to make our voices louder, because these cases will not be highlighted like it took them so long to get this on the national news. But it seems like they've always taken their cues from social media. Ben Crump came out several weeks ago, if not a month or so ago, and was talking about this case, or I've heard about it then. So we definitely gotta, keep shouting this out, keep talking about it, keep that pressure on them. We need to be making phone calls down there, because one thing I know about, and it's not the entire state of Mississippi, but it's in that deep South area, and Mississippi has always had a culture of our people still kind of living sort of like they just got out of slavery to a certain degree. And I'm not putting that on all of them. I'm just saying in certain areas of that state, they still have the fear of the police departments, because the police departments have ran so rampant down there, because they've been doing stuff in a judicial level that runs so deep that nobody outside of Mississippi is really clued into. So they got the people scared and shook to a certain degree to speak up. Black Pressure, brother, I hear what you're saying as far as keeping that thing on you, at all times. But you and I, we come from different areas where keeping that thing on you is a must. Those people down there, to a certain degree, where, and let's keep it 100, a buck. The average person, I don't care where you're at, the average black person, you're going to have that fire on you, but you're trying to hide that fire when one time roll up on you, because, you just really want to get on through. You want to make it home safe. You don't want to bust a cap on a cop. You want to get on through. So if they are being stopped, and a cop is telling them,
well, get out. You need to come with me. They're going to get out and they're going to come with them because they just want to make it home. They just want to make it home. They don't want to pull that fire out on necessarily because that's another charge and you take a chance with your life. And then who's to say some of those people that wasn't buried behind the jailhouse did not pull that thing out on them, but it just didn't go their way. Mississippi has had a bad culture ever since our brother Emmett Till. And even before that brother.
Way before Emmett Till.
Before Emmett Till, his case just happened to be one that was highlighted via movie because if it hadn't been for that, how many of us would know about it? How many of us would still be talking about, the young brother? So it still seems like they're operating under the cloak of whatever was going on during that time frame. It's still sort of kind of what's going on right now. But I just, MF Kush said it all. FBA Goddess, you all brought the fire to the conversation. Aunt Lai came through and hit us up with her knowledge, and I totally agree about the mindset and a lot of things that Aunt Lai had said as well. So I'm just going to land it right there. As far as KattWilliams goes, all I can say is he got people copping pleas like a mug right now. So while I don't believe everything the brother said, it was a whole lot of truth spit up in there that got everybody going online and making videos and commenting and carrying on. So I appreciate 2024 going off with a bang. And then Lil Nas, he goes straight to hell. He not my people. He got his own set of people that's looking for him to come out, and he's been out in a minute, so he got to do some extraordinary stuff to kind of get people to talking. And if you're talking about him, then he's meeting his goals and quotas. So that's what it is. But yeah, much love to everybody in the space, and I hope that we can keep Mississippi up in the forefront of our thoughts. Keep that in the conversation. 2024 needs to be about us finding solutions to the problems that ail us, because we are the only ones that are going to help lead. There is nobody that's coming to save us. We're it. The pro-Black conscience community, all of us who be online with each other in each other's spaces, we are the ones that we are looking for. There's nobody coming to save us. We are the only ones who can move things forward the way that we move things forward, because nobody else cares. And it's getting detrimental, and you see the piling on through other nations and just our own government on top of us, trying to beat us down spirit-wise in every single direction. But y'all hold on, because the tools that they try to use against us is the ones that's gonna bite them back in the behind, when it's all said and done. But this year here, let's just keep each other lifted up, because I promise y'all, they coming for our minds, and so let's not let them take that. Okay, much love. Later.
All right, thank you, Trouble. I'm not sure if it was Black Pressure or MF Kush. I think Black Pressure might be next.
It was Kush.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Thank you. So what I was gonna say was respond to Trouble. It was more like an agreement. Everything she said was right. Yeah, you don't want to pull a strap on who you think might be law enforcement, and take a chance of having a old-fashioned shootout at the OK Corral. But I will say this, like my aforementioned statement, I guarantee you, some of these people were caught in their comfort zone. I promise you. And like I said, if you put a gun on my head and say prove it, I can't. I just know black people. I can't. I have no way to prove this, but I will tell you a story, and everybody knows this story, right? So I've said this before. The town that I grew up in, right? I grew up in a small town about 50 minutes east of Houston called Beaumont, right? That's where I was born. 45 minutes north of Beaumont, it's in the woods. It's called the Piney Woods. That's where you get all your great NFL players. That's where they come from. But I digress. But 45 minutes north of where I was born is a town called Jasper, Texas. And everybody knows that the place is infamous. It's where James Byrd Jr. was. kidnapped, tied to the back of a truck, and pulled behind a truck until he was dismembered. And the reason I say these people catch black people in their comfort zone, for that, the dude was, a lot of people don't know because I'm from out here, the dude was a big dude. He was not a small person. He wasn't fat or anything. He was just like you say, corn-fed. He was a bigger dude. They caught that man walking home from a club, a place he had walked many times. He could do it with his eyes closed. He was in his comfort zone, right? That's how they caught him. They caught him, you know, like those saying goes, with his pants down. He was not expecting anything to happen to him. He was in his comfort zone. That's why I say, when you hear about this number of bodies, you just cannot get me to believe that these people were victimized with no issue. That you can't give me. I guarantee you, if you could, you know, have the knowledge of God and see why, you know, how these people became victims, I guarantee you they were comfortable in the situation they were in before they were victimized. Now I'll mute up and listen.
All right, appreciate that, Pressure. I got to go ahead and give a shout out to Full Name.
That's some powerful ass shit.
Real quick, let me give a shout out to. Can you hear me, MF Kush?
That pertains to this, because
I think she might be in the Matrix.
you said what about my mom?
Can you hear?
Your mama, girl.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Gotta drop down because she come back.
Oh, okay, I'm trying to see if y'all. I didn't know if y'all can hear me or not, but let me give a shout out real quick to Full Name. Full Name, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Definitely appreciate that. That is the first donation of the year, so I want to definitely give you a shout out. Definitely appreciate you. MF, she's back up here now, so let me go ahead and get the MF.
All right, y'all. Here y'all go. Hold on. Sorry. Real quick. Here we go. Hold on, y'all gonna hear some commercials.
An unsettling situation in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi to be exact. It's been revealed 215 bodies were buried in unmarked graves behind a state jail in Jackson, of course. Attorney Ben Crump is now calling for an investigation. Families of the dead reportedly had no idea until last month. Some of them, those grave sites were only labeled by a number and a metal rod. Joining us to talk about it, activist Arthur Silky Slim Reed, who also works with Ben Crump. So, Arthur, this started with Dexter Wade's case back in March, right? He was an individual who was hit by a police officer, and his family thought he was simply missing, but he was dead and buried, and no one notified them.
Well, the thing about it is that he had identification on him, Isaiah, and the medical examiner gave it to the lead detective who said he called, didn't get an answer, and they didn't worry about doing anything else. What we're finding, Isaiah, is that Mississippi is Mississippi. It's an ugly Mississippi. And this is sad because now we have 6 other individuals that has been put into the same grave. And if you look at the video from when we first went to that site, buzzards were flying overhead. And we were trying to figure out why are the buzzards flying overhead. But it's because they're putting them in shallow graves, and the only thing that they're putting them in is a body bag without informing the bodies. So the stench from the bodies are drawing buzzards there. It's so inhumane for anybody to do anyone like that, Isaiah, is just horrible is what we can say. And that's not even a word that we should use in a situation like this. It's something that we haven't seen.
And what we're seeing here is over 200 people in this, what they consider a pauper's grave behind the county jail there. And what you guys are learning in your investigation is many of these families were never called.
Real quick, MF, how long is that actual video, real quick?
Oh, that was it. It's like 5 minutes long. I'll send it to y'all later.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I also wanted to add, too, that with Dexter's mom, she experienced a similar situation with her brother, where the police officers body slammed her brother and killed him. Just want to throw that out there. But that's all I had to say, unless you want me to continue playing the clip.
Don't forget, she got a lawsuit against them too, and this was before that her son was killed.
Correct, and that only happened. I think it was about. So the police knew who Dexter was because you killed his uncle. You feel what I'm saying? You knew who this man was. So why didn't you just go tell his mother it was just really a true vehicular accident? Not, you know, in that way, hey, it was an accident. But we already know how these people play.
Let me give a shout out real quick to Maintenance on Wheels too. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, News, and I got something else too. Let's start about. If this was a criticism, some of y'all might not like this, but you know, I don't mind being the villain, you know that. But I have a question. Why isn't Jackson, Mississippi on fire? And I mean this with just every fiber in. Allah did a good job. Everybody else did a good job of ultimately saying, we know nothing is going to come. We know that nobody in law enforcement, there'll be no punitive action. Like you guys said, they were attempting to sweep this under the rug. This place, that Jackson, Mississippi, should be on fire right now. I'm talking about to the clouds. And I'll mute up and listen.
I don't, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't understand it either, Pressure, because like I said, you're the majority in the city. I understand it's in Mississippi. I understand the history, and I understand that you know, everything that goes along with it. That's why I was saying too that, you know, you have to, you're the majority, and that every major position in that city, Black people need to actually control. And I know it's not the same as having like the Black majority state. I understand that. But in that city, you need to go ahead and control the politics and everything involved in that city. And they don't control anything in that actual city. So, you know, until you actually start controlling stuff, man, you know, I don't see how anything is going to change for the better.
And news, look at it like this, if you can. I would give the city a pass, and I'm talking about the Black residents, especially of a certain age bracket. I could give them a pass if this story came out and they dug up two people, 3 people, 4 people. Okay, you could find some way to rationalize that. Bro, over 200? I promise you. Dude, I promise you. And I'm getting to the age where I'm too old to be acting like that. If I was a resident of Jackson, I'm setting some shit on fire. Straight up. And I wouldn't give a damn if you record me doing it. You cannot let behavior like that go by the wayside without punishing somebody. Somebody has to be punished. That is the only way you learn a lesson. You don't learn a lesson with a hug. You don't learn a lesson with a Bible. You don't learn a lesson with a college degree. People have to feel pain. People have to experience economic loss. People have to experience loss of life. That is the only way you can curb that behavior. And excuse me for my passion, but it's just really resonating with me. 200 damn people. And I'm gonna say this too real quick. This was before I knew about this story. It was me and a few of my coworkers, about 4 or 5 of my coworkers, a couple of months ago at work. We ducked off, just hanging out. We started talking about the worst hoods in America, you know, Black neighborhoods. So I'm like, oh, you know, New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and you know, a couple of guys said, you know, some pockets of Los Angeles, and people talked about Detroit, Baltimore. They had 2 guys that said, man, you know what? He said, you won't believe this, but you have to take out your phone. He said, man, you know what the most cutthroat town, one of the most cutthroat towns are, and nobody knows about it? We was like, what town? Jackson, Mississippi. And I took my phone out and Googled it. Man, these niggas out there are murderers. And you telling me that place ain't on fire? I'll mute up and listen.
Appreciate that, Black Pressure. Let me give a shout out to Goddess Michelle as well for her contribution on Cash App. The problem is, but they cutthroat, but they cutthroat with who though? The people that look like them. So That's the problem right there. Like I say, it's to the point in time now, and we're not advocating violence. I'll just say that, but it comes a point in time that you got to stand up and put your chest out, like, hey, enough is enough. I know Trouble said something like, it's been that way since Emmett Till. It's been that way since they was whistling Old Dixie and they had the damn cotton gin and everything else in that state. It's been that way since it's been a state of the United States of America. And these people are used to walking over black people over there. They're used to having their way with them. They don't think that you can do anything. So they're going to continue to actually walk all over you. I see somebody on YouTube, I believe it's Shelton's Revenge, says, when you said something about taking action, Shelton says that's not going to help anything. It may not help anything, but it can't hurt anything,
Tell them to come in or good. Tell them to come hop in the space and holler.
Well, I put the link in the space. If they go all the way up the space, the link is to the space. So if anybody over there in YouTube want to come, just scroll all the way up and you'll see the actual the link to the podcast / Twitter X space. If you guys want to come on in and speak as well too. But I
post it again, because sometimes when you come into a live like this, almost 2 hours in, they might not even see it. But go ahead.
Yeah, they would have to, because there ain't a whole bunch of people in live. I still see it. So all you have to do is scroll up. You'll catch it. But here's the thing. Like I said, the black people there, they're going to have to do something, man. I mean, I don't know how much longer you're going to allow people to just walk all over you. But, like I said, I'm on a recorded space. So I'm not telling anybody to go out and do anything irrational, except I'm just saying there comes a point in time that you have to stand up for yourself. And, if what you say, black pressure, they cutthroat, then, it comes a point in time that, hey, you just can't allow these people to constantly walk all over you the way they're doing it.
Hey, Google the murder rate in Jackson, Mississippi, man. Them niggas out there, or I'm talking about them niggas out there are prehistoric. The shit they doing out there.
That's what I was gonna say. I do know somebody that is from Jackson, and it's just making me think. I'm like, I don't understand. Jackson, they getting down in Jackson, Mississippi, so I'm kind of not understanding what the hell are they doing? Are they sleep? It's like they caught back in the early 30s or something where they got their heads down. Did the police ride by there with their hoods on? I mean, I'm just not understanding what the hell trouble is. I'm with you. I don't understand what's going on.
That's what I'm saying right there. And I'm gonna kick it to brother Moku and 400. But that's what I'm saying. The police riding around, the fire chief, the police chief, the mayor, the superintendent of the school board. They should all be black. The city should be black ran all the way together. The same ones. I mean, have the people that look like you patrolling the actual neighborhoods and everything else as well too. They do it in Chinatown. They do it in all these other areas and cities and stuff like that as well too. We sit up here and we talk about, we live in neighborhoods. We don't live in communities. We live in a community. We need to go ahead and police ourselves and this and that or whatever. Yet when we have a city that's a majority black city, we're saying that, well, it won't matter if we police ourselves because we're still going to get the short end of the stick. Then damn, what are we going to do? I mean, what are we going to do? Just be slaves or whatever? You got to do something.
You run into the part where, do you have any black Americans that are going to want to be a part of the police force? Then you run into that.
I'm sure you can find some, because let's be for real. Jackson, it ain't like Jackson, Mississippi is the size of Washington, D.C. I'm sure you can find enough of them out there. And let's be for real. As desperate as law enforcement has been to actually find people in some of these cities, they're taking any and everybody they can get and put them on the actual police department. So I'm sure we can find some black people up there to police their areas and this and that or whatever. And I think we would have a better you have a better interaction between the actual residents and the actual police force if it was actually people that look like them as well too, as compared to somebody that has nothing, that didn't grow up with you, don't know your parents, your family, didn't go to school with you, don't go to church with you, have absolutely nothing whatsoever. The only time they're ever in contact with you is when they're making an arrest. I think we have to really, really look into that. I'm not gonna hold it up, but let me let Brother Moku go ahead. Brother Moku, what's going on? Happy New Year.
Hey, same to you. Happy Dr. Clark Day to everybody. First off, I want to give a rest in peace shout to my uncle who we just lost on the 28th, and my aunt, who I just lost today, 4 p.m. Aunt Marsha, rest in peace to both of those individuals. Second, I want to say,
Rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear about that, bro.
No doubt, appreciate it. I definitely want to say, I'm going to start last first.
Rest in power to your family.
Thank you. Mississippi is not a surprise to me. Right now, to this day, Etta Mae Collins Graves, her body is still missing. If you don't know who that is, that's one of the 3 little girls that was in that Birmingham bombing, that church bombing. We still ain't do nothing about it. Nobody ain't talking about it. They've been robbing graves. They've been desecrating black dead bodies for more than a century. And we still feed into their diversion of the NFL, NBA, all these goddamn games they put into place of desecrating out black dead bodies. And they doing it now. Because just like we got this atrocity that's taking place in this Mississippi jail, where the same Mississippi where Rasheem Carter's head has still not been revealed, and they still protecting the white supremacists that killed him down there when he warned his mother before he died. Mom, this something happened to me, is this motherfucker that did it. And they protect him.
Try not to drop the MF. Go ahead.
Apologies for the space. Because this got me heated, but it's still no excuse to use vulgar language, so I apologize for that. But I will say this. At some point in time in the game, we got to start realizing that we are the victims of racism, white supremacy. We ain't no friends. We ain't buddies. We ain't got no allies. I don't care who say they rocking with you. We ain't got no friends. Shout out to Dr. Clark. You know what I'm saying? This is the evidence of it. You know what I'm saying? When you can have more than show up and no accountable. I'll go back to what president office. All right, let's arrest. Let's start down the line, from the top down to the bottom. You know, this is not the first. This is not the first case, and this is not the first mass grave of black dead bodies that they have found. You got Harvard selling dead bodies. You got all these colleges selling dead bodies. You got all these white people selling dead bodies and the skin and all our body intelligences. And, you know, we got the highest percentage of missing people, rape black men and women and children in the world, unsolved. And we still refuse to call ourselves victims of racism, white supremacy. We want to argue about being called something other than victims of racism, white supremacy. We not winning. I'm going to repeat that. We are not winning. This is just more evidence and proof of it. We still got lynchers that nobody ain't searching for. Everybody want to search for somebody that stuck their penis in someone, and they upset about the penis that got stuck up in them, but nobody ain't searching for the dead bodies that was left behind in the trees. The dead bodies that was left behind in the trees with the mothers that were pregnant with their bellies cut.
Strange fruit.
You know, I mean, at some point in time, I have to say, are black people really fed up enough? Are black people really realizing that they're victims, or do we think we everything other than victims? It's no time to celebrate when you unmasking 200 dead black bodies in the back of the police station and nobody's being held accountable. They got every excuse why nobody ain't being held accountable, though. But I tell you this, if it was a black majority state and all them bodies was white, I bet you they'd be rolling heads from the top to the bottom. And you know what the victims will be doing? They'll be right there along with them. Oh, he did it. But when it comes to when it comes to searching for these white supremacists, why do we get so scared? Why do everybody start running with their tails between their legs? Nobody ain't talking about catching these villains, these lynchers. I got that stuff posted on my page. White lynchers that then killed black people. Who are the names of these individuals? I ain't got not one retweet. Been on there for a whole year. Are we really serious about getting with these white supremacists, or are we faking? Tired of sitting down here complaining and nobody bringing no evidence, but everybody can go and look up an old bill. How about researching these goddamn murderers? And you know what I really want to say, but I'm really trying to tame my language. But you know why I move off of this? Because I'm having a space after this, and I'm going to this all night. I got all night. I got all the stuff for the white supremacists. Lil Nas X. We really need to nip this sexual confusion stuff in the bud. We really need to end this right now. Real talk. We need to stop condoning it, men and women. I don't care if you got a goddamn care unit member that's sexually confused. Unconfuse them. If you get offended by what I'm saying, oh, well, we at war. We ain't got no time for this. But this crap, to be condoning this crap, because you might got a niece or a nephew that's sexually confused and you don't want to get in their feelings. This is a tool of white supremacy that's being used against us. Somebody need to grab this little youngin' by his shoulder, shake him till he gets some daggone sense. And it need to be a black man, KattWilliams. Hats off to him. Truth should have been told a long time ago. But I feel like these two topics has no measure to these dead bodies, these black dead bodies of our elders. Some of them might even be your relatives and you don't even know how mixed up our bloodlines are. But I'm with black pressure. It ain't enough. I don't think we're upset enough. I really don't think we're upset enough because we keep hearing bodies at the bodies and nobody ain't. You know what? The space to be at to be finding these dead black bodies, we'll be talking about Trump, or be talking about DeSantis, or be arguing about Biden. Instead of asking questions, instead of getting answers, demanding answers. And when you don't demand the answers, get to the what up, the or else. We always skipping when it comes to the or else. We never show that or else hand. It's time for us to get real rigid and show our or else hand. Because right now, we losing. And it ain't a contest. But God daggone it. When the hell we gonna get some justice going on? Because right now, I see a lot of mistreatment going on. I see a lot of dedication to terrorizing non-white victims of racism, white supremacy. I land right there.
All right. Thank you, Brother Moku. Let me go ahead and get to 400. 400, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, fam? I think Live was next.
Nah, you go ahead because you're a new speaker. So let me let you get it in. We ain't gonna be going too much long, anyways.
Okay, what's up, fam? All right.
What's up now?
All right, now. So it's kind of hard to come as a brother now. He kind of said it all. Black pressure already done. And at this point, like if you got to tell somebody that in this day and age, man, you already lost, man. You might as well just lay down. Like you after everything was been going on, and you still walk around here like you got down foo-foo, something wrong with you. I used to live up in Hines, Mississippi. I went to school up there for 2 years, and you was right. And I ain't just trying to bash on the people up there in Mississippi, but it's kind of a different mindset up there. Like it's like a laid back, Southern, they real nice. Situation one time, like we're finna get arrested, and my partners out there, they were from Mississippi. They had to get me out of the situation because I'm from Florida, so I'm coming with this Florida mentality, like fuck the police, excuse my language, F the police, and they had a different mindset, like, nah, don't say that, don't do. Like they really like was like they're terrified, you know what I'm saying? So you're right, the people up there a little bit too relaxed, you know what I'm saying? Like ain't nowhere in the world this can go down. I say in Florida or New York, like or California. I know it's gonna be on the top. 200 bodies, like come on, nobody's saying nothing. So yeah, so I'm in agreement with all this. I just want to put my 2 cents in. I appreciate y'all family. And that's why I come here, because I'm in agreement with all y'all, Black, Native, everybody, live, all y'all. So, and I'll land right now.
Appreciate it, 400, and Happy New Year's to you. And I'm here in Florida as well, too. It definitely, I say this right here, it definitely wouldn't happen in any city in Florida where you were the majority by a large number. You 65, 70% of the actual population. Nah, it's one thing if you 10% or 15% or something like that, but if you 65, 70% of the actual population, you got a black mayor. Like I say, the city should be completely black run anyways. And for the fact that it's not, that I can't really put that into words. There's no reason if you got if the majority of the city 65, 70% black, 60% black. It's no reason why black people should not hold the major key positions in that actual city. And I mean, they're slipping on that. They're slipping. But once again, thank you, brother, as always, for always supporting the platform. So shout out to my man 400. Let me go ahead and get the Aunt Lie. You there, Aunt Lie? Aunt Lie?
I'm here. I'm sorry. I forgot I had my hand up. I forgot what I wanted to say. Peace, Black Power, reparations. And the reason why I think, and I hate to say this about my people in Mississippi, but the reason why I think that they, like he was saying, it should be no Mississippi, and this is the mindset that I'm in. I believe since we can't get justice in a courthouse, it shouldn't be no courthouse, period. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in that's what no justice, no peace mean. And I feel like people have been brainwashed to not, like they say, y'all tearing down your own property. We don't own nothing. They won't even give us loans. They come in and gentrify it. They don't give us no loans. They don't let us own no property. They steal the land when we do got land. Like, they do everything in their power to make sure that we don't own anything. Black people right now in 2023, 2024 own less houses than they did in post-slavery day. We had more in 1920 than we do right now in 2020, but they'll tell you, oh, don't do that. You doing that to your own community. But you can't even get a loan in your own community. They dag sure don't want to give you jobs in your own community, but they have y'all thinking that it's okay not to. I'm a firm believer in the spirit of Nat Turner, and I've been praying since they taught me, and they told me that I couldn't, unalive anybody, which is still, like, I'm still trying to deal with that because I felt like you're doing what you're doing to me. I don't want to tell people what they should be doing. I want to show you what should be doing. But DJ talked me out of it. But anyway, I'm just a firm believer in the spirit of Nat Turner rising up. And like I said, when he did that Soulja Boy, that was the best. That warmed my heart. I pray that more people get that spirit in them. The spirit of Nat Turner, that's the spirit that we all need to light our candles and do whatever we need to do, because that's the spirit and the mindset that we need to have. We have this spirit of mindset, well, I got this, they give you this car, they give you property. Your car payment is 15 times higher than the white man's. Like, they treat black people a certain way, and black people, well, I got this property, I got this house, I got this, and they not understanding, they killing y'all. And the thing about with the bodies, which somebody was saying it was like over 700 people missing and things like that, it's not just a Jacksonville issue. Unfortunately, there's a lot of black people missing in the country, and this is
They don't do anything new. They've been doing what they've been doing since the beginning of time, taking people and doing this with their. It's just that they finally got caught out there. This is the season of revelation. Everything that goes in the dark is coming to light. But we really need to get in that mindset of Nat Turner. And what are we so scared of? Because they're killing us anyway. So either however you look at it, you're dying. So why you doing it, just standing there, or at least you fighting back. And a lot of people don't want to fight back. I'm a firm believer. Again, DJ talked me out of it. I was ready to. I'm from the show me state. I was going to show what it was. I wasn't going to talk about what they was doing to my what I was going through. I was going to make it happen. And I feel like people really need to be in that mindset because they don't care. When they say file a lawsuit, I got a lawsuit. I got 2 of them. They don't care about any of my lawsuits. They don't care about none of that. I got to let them know, like, you thinking you could illegally incarcerate, and how many black people are in prison for crimes they didn't commit? And they keep telling us, go ahead and out there and march. How many people, like, it's like they keep doing this to us. What I believe has to be done, and I'm putting this in my book, and I believe it's my whole heart, a certain amount, it has to be an, I don't want to say, I'm trying to use my words wisely, but it needs to be retribution. And the entire branch of government that I was talking about, and those different people and the officials, they have to be the ones that needs to be made an example out of. Because when we go in there, we're not getting justice. So why are they not being dealt with accordingly? And when we scared, they not scared. They should have the fear in knowing if I'm going to be sitting on this bench and I'm not going to treat you fair. But these people, what they was doing to my nephew, they go home at night. They're not giving this man clean clothes for 6 months because I filed a lawsuit and they going at home at night. They was going to celebrate Christmas with their families. Nobody was going to celebrate Christmas with their family. And I told my husband goodbye, and I made a rash decision that I'm going to just have to make it do what it do. Because if my nephew can't come home, they ain't going home. And I meant that from the bottom of my heart. Unfortunately, DJ talked me out of it. But that's the mindset that has to be. And people tell me, I'm crazy because, you got to be. No, I don't. They don't care. I'm going to show them that I don't care like they don't care. I'm going to give them the same energy. That's what it's going to have to take. So I just pray for the spirit of Nat Turner to keep real being revealed and showing, because they don't care about us. They don't care about they don't care about nothing. We got to give them the same interest, consistency. If you see the picture on my profile, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I didn't want to be in a position where I'm telling other people to do it and I not do it. I'm a firm believer in being a change that needs to be seen. But DJ talked me out of it. So now I got to be reasonable and rational. That is the only solution to the problem. That is the solution. Other than that, we're going to keep talking whatever. Nah, homeboy, actions speak louder than words. We need some more of these 2 soldiers right there in my profile. And we need a consistent, we need a bunch of them in those inner cities going after targeted individuals. That's what needs to happen. That's like us talking about it is cute. And, round of applause. But at the end of the day, ain't no fun in my homies can't handle. I'm going to dock my boat and hold my chair because I can't hurt nobody.
All right. Appreciate that, Aunt Lai. I got to read this comment because I just saw it. Like, this guy had left all these comments on over here on YouTube. The cat that responded to you earlier, Black Pressure, the Shelton's Revenge. Let me read a couple of things. After
tell him to jump space. You don't have to link up. Jump in space.
I already told him, but here, let me read a couple comments because after you had made that comment about it, he was talking about when he said that what did he say, that that's not going to help anything. Then he responded, he came back, he said, stop wallowing. You want to know why nothing changes for Black regions like Jackson? Because Black people don't control the mechanisms of city services. Where are the Black water and power techs? Skilled tradesmen are nearly non-existent in the Black community. Therefore, they can't fix their own water, power, or anything else. They rely on white people to build and maintain water, internet, and other systems. If Black people can't keep the power and water on, what hope do they have to really be independent? First off, we talking about the situation in Jackson with the water that costs anywhere from $2 to $4 billion to fix. Now, what city, especially the city the size of Jackson, has that in their actual funds to go ahead and actually fix that? The federal government, state government, you would have to get funds from them. The federal government has the funds to actually go ahead and fix that. I'm not disagreeing with some of the stuff you're saying in terms of trades and this and that or whatever, but let's not sit up here and act like Jackson, Mississippi. Let's not forget that Mississippi is the poorest country in the poorest state in the United States. I mean, so let's not act like Mississippi is Florida, or New York, or California, or any of these other places. So what are you talking about? The actual Joe Biden he had put a little bit of money in the actual budget. Talking about they were going to give what are you talking about? They were going to give $300-400 million to Jackson. When I heard it, I said that's not going to fix it. Go ahead and put $2-4 billion to go ahead and fix the actual water situation in there. So I don't know what you're talking about, but Black Pressure, it was your turn anyways. Go ahead and unmute Black Pressure. Then I got trouble. Go ahead and unmute your mic. You there, Pressure? Nope. Did we lose Black Pressure? All right. Trouble, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm on YouTube trying to suss homie out.
I'm like, I don't know what he talking about, but okay, fine.
Shout out to DJ for getting us live back straight. Because sister, I feel you. We need to keep that secret. Need to keep that safe. We definitely need a whole bunch of more folks like the one in your profile, but we need to all get on the same page with that and have backstage conversations.
Real quick, Trouble. Let me say this one thing he said. He said, yeah, it costs a lot of money to fix everything. Now he talk about. Let me read these couple, and I'm gonna get to you, Trouble. Yeah, but their water system started going bad decades ago. Okay, well then the state and federal government should have went ahead and helped the city. He said, yeah, it costs a lot of money to fix everything now. Then he come back, he say, let's say you get it fixed. Then what? If nobody can actually pay the monthly water bill, like.
Dude, that's Brandon Tatum's burner.
Go ahead, Trouble.
That's extremely funny. Those are always the talking points that we constantly get with people trying to make the conditions that Black people face our own fault. And the comeback is always, well, why don't you all fix it? Well, when you're living in a state, in a city, in a town, or whatever, where there have officials that's supposed to be the one fixing it. Why are you asking us to fix things that are supposed to be fixed by the officials in the town? Who's asking the white people to go and do these particular things in their own town when they're not even fixing these things in their own town because they have officials that make sure these things get fixed? But when we talk about the conditions of the Black community and how the Black community specifically is being neglected, then we always have these clowns talking about, well, why come you all don't go and fix it? Where are your people to do their trades and to do the this and the that? And that's neither here nor there. That's that bullshniggity, And I wish all of you would just go straight to hell with your talking points. Go all the way to the pits of hell and stay there and burn for a little while. Burn for eternity. Matter of fact.
Trouble. Let me come in and right behind you. When he says, why don't we fix it? Bitch, you take millions of dollars out of our taxes every year collectively as Black people, probably billions. We do pay to fix it. They just don't do anything about it. I'll meet up.
That's what I was going to say. God leave me.
Brad Favre, 42.
That part all day long. A lot of times, getting back to a different part of the subject, we are more we're more comfortable with fighting each other than we are the powers that be. That's just like when I see people out in the hood area robbing your own people, and you could go outside of your community and make more money if you go on the other side of town. Anytime I was Somebody that I know back in the days was doing some stuff they ain't had no business doing. They ain't never did it in their own community. They always went on the other side of town where it was plentiful and got what they needed to get. So that's the mindset that we need to have, and I wish our young brothers would have it, because like FBA Goddess said, I know people from Jackson that gets busy, but we've been too comfortable for too long fighting with each other, and we need to get our people on a different page and start moving them to something else, because that courthouse should still be standing. I mean, that police department shouldn't still be standing right now. It should be in smithereens, and they should be running for cover right about now. They should be planning on where they're going to build a new one at. They should be getting sent a message like yesterday. And so it was something else that I had wanted to respond to, but I got sidetracked. So I see Brother Black is on stage. Happy New Year's, brother, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
All right, Black Majority State, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. Happy new solar revolution to everybody in the space. So I was looking around, doing what I could do with the research, and I've heard everybody. I found an NBC article where they list the names of the people that are buried there. It looks like it's 11 pages of names. I scanned over them. They do give the race. They give the age. So I put that down in the purple pill. I put it on Funded Socially, of course, so if you want to check that out. Mississippi is what it is. It is ground zero for racism in America. Always has been, always will be. If you are a person who feels the need to attack this system in any way, shape, or form, there's no better place than Mississippi. There's no better place to be at than in Mississippi. This is a very hostile environment. It's going to take a lot of organization, a lot of self-defense, a lot of intelligence. But to be quite honest, if any organized nation was going to war, that is where they would choose to go. I know we talk a lot, and I've spent a lot of time on the app talking, and sometimes it's therapeutic, and sometimes it does help move things forward. However, we do got to start getting a little more mobilized, a little more action-oriented, and for me, it doesn't mean marching and protesting, but it does mean actually figuring out where we can be the most useful at. Mississippi, and even in these Black majority areas, oftentimes it is the Black people that are doing some of the criminal activity against our own people. And oftentimes it's the people in positions of authority. So that's just something that we got to deal with and understand and acknowledge and not be afraid of it, because, we're all under the same system of oppression, but the oppression down there is likely much, much, much greater. It's very real. It's palpable. And you can't escape it. You can't hide it. You can't simply feel comfortable the way that you can in other parts of the country. It's such a tragedy. It's such a tragedy, but I assume that there are far more tragedies that are going to be discovered over time. And, I pray for the families of everybody that's grieving in these situations. But for those who may hear this or who think about relocating to Mississippi, which I see every so often, if you have that thought and it's the universe, the God in the universe putting that on your heart, there's a reason that God is telling us to go to these places. And I hope that we just start listening. So I'll just end with that.
All right. Appreciate that, Black. Thank you. And Happy New Year's to you as well, too. Let me go ahead. We ain't gonna keep the space because my charger, for whatever reason, my charger's not working. So we ain't gonna keep the space going too much longer. And also, man, here in Florida, we got the kids out of school, Lamar and stuff like that. What's that?
All on your phone.
No, it's not the phone. It's it's the charger. It's the actual charger is actually messed up. So it's not actually giving a charge. I think it might be a little slight tear in it or whatever. So I'm not getting the full charge. I don't know what I did with my other charger. I got to find that. But yeah, we also here in Florida, man, we got this winter thing, this winter storm coming down here. So the kids are out of school, Lamar, and we expect to get pretty bad weather potential. They're talking about, hopefully we don't. They're talking about possible tornadoes and hail and wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour and stuff like that.
That's
So
gonna be a big storm because our schools are closing 3 hours early in North Carolina.
no, okay, yeah, well,
Text messages will perform. I'm sorry, FBA, go ahead. So I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying in South Carolina, the kids got an e-learning day tomorrow. I was mad as hell when I went to the grocery store because the people done went and got all the water and everything out. Like, we got this big super storm coming. I'm like, people so ridiculous. They just think we ridiculous.
they do that all the time. They take all the get all the gas, and don't let it be a hurricane. They think a hurricane gonna come hit Florida, boy. You can't get no gas. All of the water gone, everything. So yeah, up here in the Panhandle, we're under this big warning and stuff like that. So, a bunch of people gonna be off. A bunch of people gonna be off tomorrow. Kids out of school. The university shut down. So hopefully, I'm hoping that the weather won't be too severe. Since I've been alive that I can remember, I never remember having some kind of winter storm advisory or winter. I mean, we always worried about hurricanes. So now we talking about like an actual winter storm. So this is crazy right here. But yeah, so I don't know if I may be on tomorrow. If not, we'll probably be back Wednesday, guys. Even though I'm glad this was the first space of the year. But if not tomorrow night, then we'll probably be back Wednesday. So I'm just giving everybody the heads up because I don't know. I'm surely hoping we don't lose power and all that other stuff as well too. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Black Pressure get it, and then we're gonna probably get ready to close it out. Anybody else who wants to speak, go ahead and raise your hand because, like I say, my phone. I'm gonna have to try to. I don't know what I'm gonna have to put a piece of tape or something on the part where it might be split with the charger. So let me go ahead and get the Black Pressure, and anybody else wants to speak, go ahead and raise your hand now because we're not gonna be going about another maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes at top, and we're going to get ready to close this down. But go ahead, Pressure. You got it.
That news mine is quick. If you're having some bad weather, definitely be careful. But it was 70 degrees and sunny in Houston. I sure hate that for you up there with that cold weather. Wish I could change it, but I can't. Sorry about that. But yeah, what I really want to say but I really want to say
with 20 and 30 degree weather, forget you.
But I really want to. I want to
Send him back to listener. Send him back to listener for that.
Roll out how that window was.
I hate that for y'all, man. Damn. But look, what I wanted to say earlier, that's something I wanted to touch on something on live. I said it just real quick. And other people brought it up. Yeah, I think you brought it up too, News. People talk about we need more black cops. Everybody remember, and I'm not saying this like y'all don't know. Just kind of saying this as a formality. One of the qualifications in becoming a police officer is you take a psychological evaluation. And them people make damn sure if you're not white that you agree with the tenets of white supremacy when they give you that evaluation. And I'll mute up and listen.
Real talk. Yeah, they do a bunch of testing and stuff like that as well. My only thing I'm saying, Pressure, like in these cities here, like Jackson, I'm just using Jackson as for example. You got to get it to the point, just like they do in their systems. You got to get it to the point where the people that's administering the text and everything else are black. You got to get it the whole thing. You got to flip it the same way they flipped it on us for years and stuff like that. You got to take total control of the entire city. Every position, every key position that's in that city, you need to control. And if we ever get it to that point where we can do that, you know, then you can go ahead and you can change a lot of different things. Even in a place as bad as Mississippi, which, you know, the entire state is still going to be run by them, but you could at least have control of that one city. But I feel you what you're saying though as well too. DJ, I know you
when
had.
it comes to like police officers, my ex-husband, he was trying to be a police officer, and they do also make it hard for you too. All the stuff that they was putting him through to become a police officer, it was just, you know, too much. They want you to learn. They cram a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if they do this everywhere. What they put him through. They were trying to cram everything into 3 months. I mean, as far as class, everything there is to learn about being a police officer down in 3 months. And he couldn't do it because it was just too much.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Hey, and tell that porch monkey from YouTube, if you ever want to get in a space with me, I'm in all your space.
He ain't trying to come. His last few comments was this right here. He said, I guess he's saying that I guess we balling and dancing and ain't getting nothing done for the day. He was talking about you rather just blame white folks and beg them to come get your utilities back on. Loser mentality, absolute loser mentality. Now, I didn't hear this magpie say anything about these people that were buried without their family members knowing or anything like that, the crookedness or whatever that was going on. He's sitting up here caping, and he's sitting on YouTube or whatever. Like you said, he wasn't gonna come up into space and actually talk nothing. So he set up on he trolled over there on YouTube. I guess it's a man. I guess it's a man. I don't know. Sometimes you have sisters sitting up here saying ridiculous stuff as well too. I'm not even sure this is a black dude. It could be a black dude though, because we got a bunch of black dudes. That's a bunch of self-loathing, self-hating black men as well too. So.
Turned my own electricity back on before. I switched out the whole unit in the back and then changed it back when it was time for the people to come and fix it. So please don't tell us that we don't know how to keep it how we keep it while you put.
Hey, News, you should have asked them.
Grab that from the record with trouble say.
Hey, News, you should have asked them since black people don't know infrastructure, ask him, do the nigga get his water from a black man? Do he get his electricity from a black man? Punk ass nigga.
They knacker for the space.
Hey, ain't no telling where. Let him tell it. Black pressure. He probably lives off the grid somewhere. So you know.
Need to let them know we different over here on Twitter than over there.
Yeah, we just transgender prostitute mama. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Hey, I saw you put that in the comment the other day with the dude you was going back and forth with. I forgot. I forgot what we were talking about.
Right name too.
Yeah, he put.
Hey, News, where he at? I thought he was gonna be in the space tonight. That nigga say DNA does not tell you anything, and you told her. And News say, man, we do spaces every night, and I knew he was gonna be in it.
Nah, he wasn't gonna come. I was just trying to get to the point, like, well, you know, DNA, doesn't it work? Doesn't DNA tell somebody if they're the father or not? So apparently it does work. But he's like, well, what are you talking about? I'm talking about something different or something. I was like, okay. Wasn't gonna go back and forth with him.
Well, Newstoter, I guess tomorrow soon we can talk, or you can talk about the explosion that happened in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Like I say, tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing one because, like I said, I don't know how the weather's going to be. But I probably more than likely, I definitely probably be back Wednesday. So we can put together, see what's popping in the news and stuff like that as well. To the explosion, we can cover that. If not, you know, it's always going to be something. So you know, I don't mind covering a couple topics as well too. Sometimes I actually like covering, you know, more than just one topic. Sometimes we just do one, but sometimes I like to cover 2-3 topics. So we've done that before in the spaces. We've covered as many as 4. So, you know, it just depends on what's up in the actual news cycle and what people want to discuss and talk about. I'm with it. You know, as long as we get people to come up in here and they want to participate in the conversation, it's always fine with me.
All
I'm up early in the morning. That's why I catch all these stories. The early bird gets the worm, so I love it. But as far as that person, also want to talk about old boy, how they brought him into court this morning.
Oh yeah, you talking about like Hannibal Lecter, like how he was like Hannibal off of the Silence of the Lambs.
Why they put that on his hand? I don't understand what they put that over his hands and.
Now, FBA goddess, what do you think they was the Negro lucky they didn't have him tranquilized? Now he done went head first over the damn bench at a female judge, a white judge at that. I mean, come on, you lucky that he was able to even come in there and stand up and he wasn't sedated. So yeah, I mean that wasn't surprising to me.
Another thing about this though, how is she gonna sentence him? Is she got the same sentence she was going to give him before he did that, or did she get a harsher sentence because he did that?
It sounded like she was trying to say that he had all those prior. I heard her say she talk about that it didn't seem like it was working before. So they could have said that he was a repeat offender. I guess they talk about he was a repeat offender, and she wasn't trying.
They were arguing for probation, and she was like, "Nah, I'm gonna make him feel something else."
Yeah, that's what I was saying is, why would they let her give him a sentence if he tried to assault her? Wouldn't she make that a harsher sentence because of him assaulting her?
More than likely. Well, he got additional charges thrown on, so yeah.
So how's that legal for her to be able to do that?
News, too, real quick. I'm gonna say this real quick, News. Anybody welcome to do it. You can YouTube this, and I've seen this for years on YouTube. White people have done that to judges countless times. You jumped over the bench and went after a judge. They didn't put that shit on the news, and I'll beat up. Right?
Yeah, the key, the like you say, white people though. So unfortunately, old boy wasn't white.
And they got the complexion for the protection. How much time did he get?
And he threw his whole body on her. How she jumped from way back there to on her? I still want to know how that was how he jumped over that table.
We got high. Michael Jordan had a 48-inch vertical. We got high.
I was like, how the hell he do that?
How much time did he end up getting?
48 months. Up to 48 months, something like that.
Hey, I'm surprised. Like they didn't. I'm surprised they ain't try to give him 10 years.
Yeah, I'm about to say he was lucky. He caught them.
No, that was for the charge he was charged with for while he was in there. Not for what he did to her. That was for what he.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say because I know he got some additional charges.
No, they gave him like 30 charges or something like that. I forget how many charges they had on him. They might have got him charges for each one of them daggone retardos that was standing up there getting beat up. I hit on top of the head. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna charge him for each punch he threw. That's a year. That's a year. Because he was clocking the hell out of him. And little fancy boy was up there hitting them like, Blue, oh, get off of her. Blue, get off of her. Like, hope you should just went sat down. You wasn't feeling nothing. You was throwing. Oh,
they didn't protect her anyway. He flew past all them people that was in there and straight to her. And she looking as he coming, as he flying towards her. She seeing him coming. Nobody did nothing until he got over there. I'm like, he done already tackled her. And now y'all want to help?
She was sitting like it was slow motion coming to. I was like, dang, slow motion, baby. Slow motion, baby. Like, you move too quick. Oh, you got to be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that.
I'm going to need Tariq to do one of those for his animations. Now, that would be hilarious.
That was like Black Pressure. That was like how Walter Payton used to jump over the end zone and whatnot, over the pile and whatnot. Your boy just went airborne. He jumped. How many feet did he get up off the air? Like,
hey, that bitch was at like his neck level. Cuz that high. She must have been an ex-athlete or something.
Nah, don't quote that.
The Reebok pumps or something. I'm like, how did he jump from off the ground over that thing?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm saying, yo, let me get in there, damn. Can we jump correctly, family? No. I got some balls, damn. You know what I'm saying? Nah, she didn't sentence him to That's for the previous charges he was already on probation for. You know what I'm saying? So he got 19 months, you know what I'm saying, for that. So it's like, damn, cuz I don't know what the hell you was worried about not doing 19 months versus you must be missing something out in the street or something. Or you got some beef in the jail where it's like, I don't know, cuz that was whatever, but I ain't mad at you that you did it either, because that shit was the court bench ain't that high, man. It's not that high. You out of shape right now, could probably hop over there.
Didn't they jump from across the room though, from where he was standing over to her? He had to jump over the table first.
No, he had to run the jumps.
Hey, but DJ, he went Superman.
I mean, he got up there now, though. He got up there. Yeah.
He like over 6'3" or something, 6'4". You know what I'm saying? So he already got
man. So you mean to tell me he ran? I thought maybe he jumped in, or he took off and where the hell was everybody else?
He had at least 4 or 5 feet to get a quick running start. You only need one boost to get going. You know what I'm saying? Off your back heel, wherever foot you run off. You know what I'm saying? That's track shit. You know what I'm saying?
And you see all eyes was on him when he came in.
That dude got by. He was at least 5 feet up in the air, though.
Right, but you don't need that much. What do they call it? What do they call it? Like, you know, the pressure that it takes to start the momentum to run. All you got to do is lean back and propel yourself forward, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't care about what his body did after it went up there. He didn't give a damn. He just threw his body up there. He didn't care.
And look, he was already standing up, loose free. He wasn't cuffed or nothing. He was on probation. That's why it did make sense why he did that. So, but I understand why he did it as a former felon. Don't talk that ish to me, Judge. Nobody care about that. I'll smack the fire out of you, you know what I'm saying? And get 16, you know what I'm saying? I got to start on cop charges. This is what I'm trying to tell a lot. Chill, we going to get them back through the courts. We going to get them signed. Know what I'm saying, son? No, man. We going to get them. We ain't got to hurt them like that anymore. We going to legislate their ass now. Rest in peace to my great auntie. I lost 2 relatives over the holidays, too. Shout out to your family, be more codified. So my one great auntie, she dead in she out here doing podcasts, and I ain't even know the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? So we used to argue all the time that she felt that we wasn't doing enough, us that are our age and younger. Hey, you say you in the politics and there's reparations, and I know it's not the third. We was out here fighting these people for real. She told me Lou Hammond, they was throwing bottles at the police regular. You know what I'm saying? That was regular. You know what I'm saying? So, and this was in Mississippi too. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Real rap, you know what I mean? My aunt got boots on the ground, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I get a lot of game from her and how I'm able to maneuver and do things. So, you know, the tradition lives on or whatever, but it got to be more than one Aunt Betty out here. Got to be more than one black state majority or Newstoter or FBA Goddess or Moco. Got to be more than one trouble causing good trouble. You feel what I'm saying? That's the only real trouble. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to ancestors that got in trouble, you know what I'm saying, on the bridge, you know what I mean? But we got to doing them out. And don't be scared of these people, because we used to beat these white people ass up here in New Jersey. Yo, we used to wreck them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was regular. You had to come outside and prepare to fight up here. You know what I mean? Whether it be our own people or some other type of people. And we don't fall all that. We don't fall all these jokes, yo. And you know, black Americans they no L's. But it's like now we so dormant and docile about what we was actually supposed to been fighting for. The tether gang done swooped in and now took over the land, the buildings, the businesses. It's over with. So now even white people starting to understand that ancestors was fighting. We've been fighting each other. These people just came and swooped up. You got Asian folks and all these other Hispanic and African folks. They run in your city offices now. This is why you can't get no justice, man. You know what I mean? And you already know we got the head commander douchebag in office, Jim Crow Joe Biden. This joker wrote a crime bill against us. This is why this stuff's still happening, man. We ain't never get out of slavery or anything, Jim Crow. It's just a different way of looking at it. Same script, different character. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we're not going.
Yeah, he wrote 2 crime bills, correct?
Yeah, he wrote 2.
There you go.
On that note, guys, it sounds like it's.
I'm going with the 94 real quick, because that was the one that, you know, hey, come here, get up against the wall. Oh, what I did, I was coming from school. He's like, oh, I'm going from the penny, get a candy store. What the hell? I just left my house. You feel what I'm saying?
Before you go, Newstoter, I just want everybody to know that in Jackson, Mississippi, Emmett Till's cousin, Priscilla Williams, she is running for U.S. Senate in the state of Mississippi. So I just want y'all to know that. But she is out of the Jackson, Mississippi. Again, her name is Priscilla Williams. She is running, and that is Emmett Till's cousin.
Okay. Shout out to her. Hopefully she can win.
Hey, get her up here, FBA got us. But now with that being said, in the Jumbotron, y'all, third from the left, it says right there, Emmett Till's killing was caused by his father. Report this Lolita Negrita, Dominican tether gang woman right here, because it's pretty much spreading lies. So if you believe in with the United States government, because Emmett Till's father was in the army, then I'm going with allegedly at this point, because look how many lies that's been told on our people. A lot was told.
I'm going to bring Priscilla on, because Priscilla would tell the story about Emmett Till's father, which that I can't say what I want to say is lying, because that's not the story. So I will bring Priscilla on. Matter of fact, I'm going to call her when I get off the phone. Yeah, I'll bring her on here.
Yeah, but report that tweet, though, y'all. Report that tweet, you know what I'm saying? And block Lolita after you report that tweet. I'm about to go block her right now. So,
all right.
There you go.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming through.
Next space up, too.
Oh, you got a space on tonight?
Brother Moko right
Oh, Brother Moko. Okay, yeah, Brother Moko. I know you got a space coming on too. Okay.
Jumbotron is in the Jumbotron too, y'all. But go ahead, sorry.
So yeah, definitely y'all go ahead and hit up Brother Moku's space as well too, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna shut this one down for the night. We'll probably be back Wednesday night, guys. So peace to everybody. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting the space. We'll see y'all then. Everybody be safe and have a good night.
Good night. Good night.